yours was.
So
that's mine.
Okay.
I remember it took a second or two. Okay, so mine's live, and then yours. Let's see, it should be there. It is.
All right, let's go.
Finally, it worked.
Finally, we're having some troubles with connection, but we're good to go.
We had some technical difficulties, and most of the technical difficulty is like that. What did they say? They said most technical problems happen between the keyboard and the chair.
Okay. So it was your fault.
Yeah, we were fucking it up. But it's
all right. So we're good. We made it eventually.
Yeah, we did it.
Let's do it. CBL Daddy.
AK
is the best. Thanks, brother. Thank you very much. That's very kind.
Yeah, let's go. I'm going to share this too on Facebook, at least so people know that we're live too.
Let's do it.
So hope everyone's having a good day. My name is Andrew.
My name is AK.
And today, what's the topic, AK?
Today we're going to be giving you a full guide, step by step, on everything you need to know and plan to move to Medellin, hopefully next year.
Yep, hopefully next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully for 2024. So obviously a lot of things will change. Like, for example, the minimum wage is going to change here.
Okay.
I'm sure some tax codes will be updated. Like every year something happens. So we'll be touching on that, on the changes that are presumed to be happening this coming year. But it's really fun to talk about and plan, right? Like I don't know. Do you do that often, where you plan like what you're gonna do for the next year? Like you do your resolutions?
You want me to tell you something crazy? My whole channel is about teaching people how to move to Medellin and plan stuff before you get here. But I personally, whenever I visit a new country, I don't plan anything. Just because I like to arrive there and see, oh my God, what's going on, and just kind of figure it out. Like that culture shock, I like the culture shock and figuring it out as I go. So, for example, I'm going to Bolivia on Monday.
Really?
And my girlfriend is like, let's plan this, let's plan that. I'm like, plan whatever you want. Just tell me where to go. I don't want to know because I want to get there. I don't want to look at photos and stuff. I just want to be my first experience right? So, but most people are not like me. So, yeah, it's good to plan.
Yeah, it's definitely good to plan. I'm more of a planner, I would say.
Yeah.
I like to plan, but not like every single thing. Like if I'm going to do a trip, like for example, if I were going to Bolivia, I would definitely be planning like where I'm going to stay, obviously, but also like I like to go to museums. I like to do like walking tours. So I would plan that out. I would be like, okay, we definitely have to do the bike tour or whatever on Wednesday type stuff. Yeah. So that definitely
helps.
Yeah. It helps when you're going to make a big move, like moving to
then you have
Medellin,
to. Absolutely.
You should be planning because it'll get hard if you don't.
Well, for me, I kind of just figured it out as I came. But if I planned and actually knew, okay, I want to move to this place, I want to get this visa, I want to join these groups, it would have gone a lot more smoothly rather than how it went, which ended up well in the end, but is what it is, right?
Ends up, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes wigging it is the most fun. What's up, Jonathan? How's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Feliz Navidad. Glenn, how you doing? Hola, amigos.
Hey, Marvelous 16, CBL Daddy, 69 Way Better. Everybody's in the house.
Everybody's in the house.
Hey, before we get to talking about next year, I want to talk about this year.
Yeah, let's talk about this year.
I want to ask you guys in the videos to leave a comment and let's say, what is your biggest achievement or what are you most proud of that you did in 2023? Can be something very small, can be something very big, but show yourself some love right now by saying what you did awesome in 2023. Andrew, can you give me three things in 2023 that you're very happy that you did or proud of yourself for doing?
Number one, I impregnated my girlfriend. So
okay.
That's the one
well done.
I'm most proud of. Well done, Andrew.
Andrew's going to be a father for the first time. First time, right?
Known time.
For the first known time.
I used to turn my phone off during Father's Day.
Okay.
I don't want those surprise calls.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel great, man. I can't believe that I'm gonna have a kid. I think it's super exciting. It's gonna be super fun, and
it's about time for you.
I'm 42.
You're not getting any younger.
Yeah, and I don't want to be like an old fart. An old dad. Like, and I've seen old dads, and they do a good job. But I think I want to enjoy because imagine when my kid is 20, I'm gonna be
63. Oh shit. Okay.
I'll be like. I hope he has a kid soon because I could be a grandfather.
yeah, that's true. Okay, so you're excited. Are you scared at all?
No. I would be scared if, like, for example, I was thinking about it and talking about it with a friend of mine over the phone, and I was saying, like, if this were happening to me when I was, like, in my early 30s, I would have been scared shitless.
Okay.
Because
so like my age, you'd be worried.
Yeah, because I didn't have like my business set up. I had just been deported here. I was basically broke. I would have been working like 3 jobs if I had a kid coming. But the thing about the kid is that like now that it's coming, like I don't leave this office right now. Like I'm just like on complete like grind mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like more than before. Like before I was doing it, but every other day I would go to the bar and stuff. Like yesterday I went for Thursday night football the first time in like a month.
Okay, so your life is already changing a bit.
It's already changing.
Okay, I guess it has to, right?
Yeah, you have to change, right?
And do you know how to raise a child? Are you going to be watching YouTube videos?
I have been watching YouTube videos, but when my brother was born, I was 11, and I helped raise him.
Oh, okay.
Because my parents had to work a lot, and so I took care of him a lot. So I know how to change a diaper. I know how to feed him. I know how to do stuff.
So maybe that's why you're not so worried about it. You already know some of the steps.
I already know the steps.
I would be scared as fuck, man.
Yeah,
I don't know nothing about raising a baby. I'm an only child as well, and I'm an only child too. Yeah, true. But babies are different to kids, you know.
True. Yeah. I'll have a night nurse. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And you're set up well now, so you're ready. It's time. That's exciting.
It's gonna be good. Yeah, I can't wait.
And then we can train them up to BRVA.
Yes, Teeny. We need a child raising master class.
Who's going to give that? We both know nothing.
I'll have to go through it first and then make the course. So that's probably the best
that's
thing
number
that's
one.
happened in my life this year. Number 2 is...
Isn't that funny? That's the best thing that happened in your life, but required the least amount of effort.
I don't even want to talk about it. It required effort.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of effort you're putting in. Sorry, Kato.
That's why I'm not a father.
You got to put in some work, man.
All right. Before we get sidetracked, number 2.
So number 2 would be the creation of the Medellin Master Class.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. That one, it's because it aligns, when they... I was just watching, Ali Abdal, the YouTube
legend.
He has a great YouTube channel, and his latest video was about planning for the next year, right? Like resolutions, and one of them was, and the way that he plans stuff out, and he suggests people plan it out, is for it to align with mind, body, and soul, right? Like whatever your plans are, and that's basically what I do with my entire life. Anything that I want to do in life, I plan it thinking of those 3 things, which is mind, body, and soul.
Okay.
And it's, mental health, physical health, and spiritual health, right? So the Medellin Master Class aligns with everything, all those 3 things.
Okay.
Because,
how so?
Well, for example, for mental health, doing the Medellin Master Class and doing this right now and the Medellin Buzz channel, I incorporate those 2 together.
Okay.
Are low stress. So it's like 0 mental health. If anything, it makes me more happy. And you know how happy I get when I do my lives. I love going live.
Andrew, we had a chat before we were on a client call, and he's like, man, I get so excited when when I have a live scheduled for that day. And I go to Caro, I'm like, man, for a 42-year-old guy, Andrew's got some very beautiful childish qualities when he gets excited about this stuff. But it's great. Like, none of this is work for you. You'll do this for free every day anyway.
I would do it every day, even if I didn't make a cent at it. But so monetizing it through the Medellin Master Class helps out with the physical part, right? Because that's economical. It's something tangible. So that's the physical part. And then the spiritual part also in line with the mental health, because I feel like I'm doing good to other people by showing them the reality of living in Medellin, right? It's not like all, butterflies, rainbows, unicorns out here. There is danger. There is safety issues. But if you do it the right way, you can live a very happy life.
Yeah.
So
and you're improving people's lives too.
Yeah, and I'm hopefully improving people's lives. So that's the thing.
Awesome.
And then third thing that I am proud of and happy that happened this year, I would have to say buying my 5th apartment and finishing that up and remodeling it.
You got some heavy hitting stuff happening this year.
Yeah, this year was like I'm telling you, this fourth quarter was definitely the best quarter I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And I hope to continue that. Roll that into next year.
Nice, man. So really hitting your stride at 42 years old, which not many people can say.
Yeah, sometimes people do it younger, sometimes older. This is my journey. Yeah. I read a really good quote the other day. It says, never compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 12. It's like you I never compare myself to anybody but myself. Like,
absolutely. Comparison is the worst thing you can do. Like comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. Yeah. As long as you compare yourself with yourself yesterday, get a bit, even 1% better every day. That's how you're going to be happy and keep pushing forward, right?
Yeah. Now let's get to yours. But before we get to yours, let's say hi to some people here.
Yeah.
We've got the marvelous Ignacio Plaza on AK's channel. Hello, Medellin. How's it going? Darwin, the Destroyer. What's up, chat? Let's go. How are you doing? CBL Daddy, Streets. What's up, Streets? Can't wait to embark my journey in Medellin. I can't wait for you to embark your journey as well.
We have Gordon Gecko saying he's tuning in from Finland.
The famous Gordon Gecko?
From Finland, yeah.
Let's go.
We have CBL Daddy's been following me closely. Said AK celebrated New Year's in 5 different countries last 5 years, I think. Man, I actually forgot about that. I posted an Instagram thing about the last 5 years I've been in 5 different countries, and this year will be 6. I didn't even plan it like this. It just happens.
You haven't had a New Year's in Colombia, or you're going to be in Bolivia?
I'm going to be in Bolivia this year. Yeah,
nice.
Last year I was in Brazil. The year before I was in maybe Colombia, year before Mexico, awesome. Somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see where I am next year.
Yeah.
But we have Ignacio. Ignacio actually commented on one of our videos about real estate. So he had something to clarify. So he wanted to say that recently we did a video with Rick, and I've heard you say this as well, that there's no MLS in Colombia.
Yeah.
And Ignacio wanted to argue that point.
That there is an MLS?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard that there is like a kind of a centralized data center for real estate, but it's not updated. It's like,
it's like old kind of not trustworthy data.
It's not very reliable. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like nobody uses it really.
Okay. Ignacio, can you just clarify what you mean by that? The Marvelous 16, they said, Joel, who's your barber? They did a great job. Thank you. My barber is Mateo from Beardman Barbershop on Calle 10 in Provenza. Yeah. And my beard is mega crispy. I just got it cut like 20 minutes ago.
I got mine like 2 hours ago. Yeah.
When I come on live, I am legit looking my best because I always get a haircut just before.
Yeah. See, so I learned something today that there's the high fade and then the low fade. I was doing.
You just learned that?
No, I learned. What I learned was that I look better with the high fade.
This is a high fade.
Yeah, this is.
What do you guys think? Can you show everybody how you're looking? This is the high fade.
That's the high fade. It looks better because before it was down here.
Yeah.
And the hair was like getting like weird. Like yours looks good with the low fade.
Mine's low. Okay.
That's low.
I just show him a photo and say, "Do this, mate."
Is it a photo of yourself?
No, it's a photo.
You should do that. Like,
I should. Yeah.
Cut my hair like this guy.
This is the perfect looking guy. Do it like me. Trade or die. Hey guys, I want to move to Colombia, but I was looking at taxes and it's insane. How do you deal with taxes?
Well, you do deal with taxes here are very similar to the United States. There are a lot of breaks and stuff if you create like a company, etc. A lot of people, when you're making a ton of money, I have a few friends that live 6 months in Panama because it's 0 foreign income tax there. But if you're like, for example, me, I don't want to move to Canada. I don't want to move to Panama because I don't want to have to live there 6 months out of the year. So what I do is I have corporations in the United States, corporations here as well, to make sure that I'm paying the least amount, but paying, right? Like making sure that I'm using the tax code.
Legally using the tax code.
Get breaks.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
And you can do it.
A good accountant will help you a lot.
Yeah, a good accountant. If you need a good accountant, join the Medellin Master Class. My accountant is on our list, along with others on that in the Master Class that we share with everybody.
I get a lot of questions about it. I don't really know how to answer it properly without sounding like a tax deceiver, but maybe you can word it better. Many people look at the tax and say, holy shit, I got to pay 50% double income tax and stuff. But that's not the case of what people pay. How would you explain that better?
I think Donald Trump explained it best. We don't like saying the T word here, but he explained it the best. He's like, I use the same tax code that they've created to get breaks. Okay. If they don't like that, if they want me to pay more taxes, then get rid of all the breaks for businesses and for using the tax code, right?
Okay.
So
use all the legal ways to leverage your position to pay less tax.
To pay less tax.
Okay.
Here and
anyone who asked me about tax, that's the answer that I was looking for.
And it's the smart way to do it because it's not about not paying. It's about getting as many breaks so that you can continue to employ people, to make more investments, to generate more income, and and help others, right? That's
absolutely,
that's
100%. So we have some questions on your
What's
channel?
up? Yeah, so let's say, Glenn, what's up, AK? Your smile is pretty awesome, too.
Thank you, Glenn. Too nice, too friendly.
Julian Hurtado. So you pay taxes in the U.S., having a company in the USA and not in the U.S. My corporation in the United States is in the United States, so it has to pay the state tax. It's a Delaware S Corp, so there is no state tax, but you do have to report, and you also have to pay federal tax, right? So that's where we pay.
Let's get to my things that I'm thankful about.
So what are you thankful for? 3 things that you were thankful this year for?
I think you can guess probably 2 of them. One's the same of yours, and it's not having a child. Master class for sure. That's been awesome, and it's been really great for my life too, because I didn't really realize the type of people that we'd be attracting.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people I'm hanging out with now and learning from people maybe 10, 20 years ahead of me.
Right.
And it's giving me like a lot of entrepreneur knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's been great. Number 2, I'm really grateful for obviously my girlfriend, Carolina.
Okay.
We just celebrated this week 2 years together.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, so that's
2 years.
2 years, yeah. So that's gone really, really
And you guys are living together.
We've been living together for 1 year, for a year.
Technically married now. Like,
I guess in the eyes of the law. Domestic partnership.
Domestic partnership,
yeah. That's the visa that I'm going to get next year. So
so you're going to get that visa.
Yeah, we're going to get the domestic partnership visa.
You know what's in Colombia, not unlike in the United States. In the United States, getting married, you get tax breaks, but in Colombia, I don't know what those tax breaks are. So it'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, I'll report back, but I'm not really thinking about tax at the moment. I'm thinking about staying in the country, not getting kicked out.
T-Mac.
Yeah.
What's good, T-Mac?
So that's number 2. And number 3, I would say, is that I ticked off something off my bucket list this year, which I started basically getting seriously into tennis this year.
Oh,
and
right.
I wanted to join my first competition and play before the year was over. So I played last week, 2 weeks ago, made the semi-final. Got absolutely chomped in the semi-final, 6 zip,
Ooh.
against a guy who actually plays university here, college tennis player at University of Antioquia.
Yeah, that's tough.
So didn't have much chance.
Though.
But I made it. I did it. Yeah, and I never played before in my life. So
that's amazing.
Those are the 3 things. So
3 things. Big year this year.
Yeah.
I think this year has been, for me, it has definitely been the best year I've ever had in my life. Definitely looking forward to 2024. What about you guys? What are you proud of this year? Medellin says that he moved to Medellin. Let's go.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great.
A huge milestone for many people. It was for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't for you because you got booted here, but
yeah.
For me, it was a milestone.
But it was for me. Yeah, it was a big change and it was a good move, right?
Yeah.
Gekka, what's up, Gekka? Gio, how you doing, Gio?
EST said you should do tax evasion masterclass.
No, we wouldn't call it that. It would be called
tax management.
Tax management.
Tax management masterclass.
That sounds so boring, though.
Tax
tax
massaging masterclass.
But I actually like learning about that kind of stuff.
Okay. You like learning about tax?
Yeah, like how I can make more money or keep more money in my pocket to reinvest. Like that's the best. What's up? Street says personal training, nutrition, and content creation is what I'm bringing to the table. Hopefully, with help of the Medellin Buzz, I can also get on board with real estate. That's good. Yeah,
he's doing a lot of things.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
A lot of things. Yeah.
How come when he says Medellin Buzz, the little orange thing comes up on there?
Because he tagged it with the at.
Okay, cool. Daniel Khalili Nielsen, IQ, says, hey, I'm 18, visiting Medellin in June. I speak a fair bit of Spanish. What's your advice to a young fella visiting Medellin?
Ooh, let's go.
18. Good on you for traveling, actually, by yourself and getting out into the world.
Yeah.
Really well. I'm assuming you of maybe Spanish descent, or did you learn Spanish?
Yeah.
But some advice for a young fella, just have fun, mate, and be... watch our videos, learn what you need to do about safety, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And just be cautious, but stay educated and have fun and do all the cultural activities. Don't just come here and stay in Poblado, drink and go home. Go do a coffee tour, go do some city tours, learn about the city, take some salsa classes, do things like that to meet the locals.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do the things that you like to do, or maybe even push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But join groups. Go to the MDE community. Just type that into Google, MDE, like the acronym for Medellin, MDE, and then the word community all together. You'll find the link tree to all of the links to all of the WhatsApp groups for all of the things that community does. And it's like, it's a giant list of WhatsApp groups where you can join. And let's say you like hiking, they organize hiking trips. Let's say you like tennis, there's a tennis group. Anything that you want to do that. I mean, there's even like board games too.
Yeah. We have EST who says he's proud of getting in much better shape. That's always a great thing for people to do at any age. Setting up a good remote job, that is key to moving to Medellin and getting clear on my intentions to leave the USA. That sounds like a legendary 2023.
That's pretty awesome.
Great job, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this video today we're talking about is actually a good transition, what he says there.
Yeah, so I should open up our notes, actually.
Well, in my last video, if you guys watched, I gave you a 7-step, I guess, transition or guide to exit your office life and get to the point where you're ready to move overseas, okay? Yeah. So that was kind of chapter 1. Now, once you have that remote job set up, as EST said he has, now we move into part 2, all right? So more or less you can't move to Medellin unless you have a way to make money here, remote, or you have a lot of savings.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So once you've got that remote job, then we move into the things you need to do to move and make a life here in Medellin, right?
Yep, exactly. That's a lot of people make resolutions, but they don't keep them.
Yeah,
present company included. Okay. I've done that before too, where I have a goal and I don't keep it. Right, I don't keep that resolution for the rest of the year.
Yeah, like most people.
Yeah,
New Year's resolution should just be called January resolutions, which is
life gets in the way, right? Yeah, it's tough sometimes, but the whole point is that when I actually write my resolutions down and I have them visible like throughout the year, that's when I get things done. Like for example, I have I love stationery. I always have like
you have a little book here?
Yeah, like for example, that's like what I did today, and I kind of do that.
Is it the book written in some Chinese or something? What is this?
Wow, that looked really bad actually. No, that was today.
Okay,
so,
that's
like,
English.
Remember we had like the newsletter, all that stuff. So yeah, I use this to like see the things that I want to do.
Old school. You know, it was the last time I actually wrote something? Long time ago. I didn't even own a pen, to be honest with you.
I love stationery. Okay. That's that in the toy section at a store is like my thing.
This goes back to the childish qualities that I would say is very endearing in Andrew's personality. So what were we talking about? New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions and the topic for today, which is basically a guide to moving to Medellin in 2024. And I guess we'll get started. If you're moving to Medellin, let me ask you this, AK.
Okay.
If you were to move to Medellin...
I'm not going to look at the notes. I'm going to look over here.
Yeah. No, if you were to move to Medellin, what would be the first thing that you would tell yourself to do?
Okay, so I'm in Australia, in my office, looking. I want to move to Medellin.
Yeah,
what do I do?
Screw this job.
Okay. What do I want to do?
Yeah.
I would look up probably areas to stay.
Areas to stay?
Yeah. But before that, entry requirements. How do I get in? Do I need a visa? Do I need something? Because some countries are harder than others.
Right.
And then the second thing would be where to stay.
Yeah, where to stay.
Yeah, is that the right answer?
I think that is the right answer. Guys, what do you think? Would that be the first thing that you look for? I know that some people might say, well, the first thing that I would figure out is my money situation. But let's assume that you already have
a way to make money remote, right? So that's a prerequisite for this lesson.
So that's the prerequisite, that you have some way. You either have a ton of savings, you have investments.
Residual income,
something, you have your money situated so that you can come here and have, a $2,000 plus budget, hopefully.
Yeah.
If you go a little lower, a little more than that, that's perfect. Obviously, higher the better.
Yeah.
But
I think from 1,500 is good.
Yeah, 1,500.
That's probably baseline.
Yeah, 1,500 is a good budget.
Yeah.
What's up, Chris? How you doing? George Morales, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. We have a question or a statement from Trade or Die.
He said, don't fall in love with the first girl you meet. I think he was giving a tip. He was giving a tip to Daniel when he said, I'm 18 and I'm visiting. That's a good tip, actually.
I meant the other.
Oh, the other one? This one.
First thing,
he said, no, first thing I would figure out is what do I need to take care of here first. He means first
in Australia or wherever you're coming from. That's actually a really good point.
Okay.
So one of the first things that you definitely should do is figure out what you're going to do with all your possessions and all that.
Yeah.
If you are planning a move. A lot of people don't plan that complete move right away anyway. They come here part-time and then go back. So situating all that stuff with storage units, selling your stuff.
True.
probably a good first step.
Yeah.
But let's say you've got that sorted out and you're looking at Medellin. I think you're right. The first thing is, what are the entry requirements? Can you give us a little synopsis of what that is right now?
It depends really on country, but most of us are coming from the US, Canada, UK, or maybe Australia, right?
Yeah.
So all of us, it's pretty easy to get in. You can arrive in Medellin and you get 90 days immediately.
Okay.
They'll just look at your passport, they stamp it. The only thing you need to do before you land is go to a website called Check-Mig.
Yeah.
You need to fill that out. And then when you come in, they stamp that, you're good for 90 days, right?
Okay.
So that's the entry requirements.
That's it.
You're in.
You're in.
That 90 days, once it's about to expire, normally I would recommend doing it a month before the first 90 days is about to expire.
Yeah.
You can actually extend it online for another 90 days.
Wow,
if you want to know how to do that, go on my channel and look. I made a full tutorial on how to do that.
Okay.
So basically, you can get 180 days in the country every year, every calendar year, that is, January 1st to December 31st.
Okay.
180 days without any type of visa. Okay. So that's your entry requirements.
That's great. And then, for example, let's say you're up with that 180 days, you have to leave, obviously.
You have to leave or you have to apply for a visa.
Okay.
To stay longer term. That can be in the form of, most people are doing digital nomad visa.
Right.
That's probably the easiest one. If you want to study, you can get a student visa. Those are probably the easiest. The other ones are a bit more difficult, but they're more to do with like investing and putting money into the country.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a good question from Derwin. Derwin says, what's a ballpark figure of a good savings?
Good savings. So it depends what you want to do. What I always tell people whenever they jump on calls with me and ask for some advice is that I would plan 6 months of savings, right? So figure out your budget, maybe $2,000 a month, times it by 6, and then 12 grand, right?
12 grand.
And that's if you don't have any type of job at all. And in that time, I would be trying to find a job because you don't want to just burn your money and then, shit, I got to go back home.
I've seen so many people do that.
Yeah, that's just a buffer to help you with your living expenses while you're actively searching for a job.
Right, yeah. I've seen so many times people that come down here with their savings and then, they're in month 6 and they're like, I need to get a job.
Yeah.
Like, what were you doing for 6 months? They were partying, burning the money or whatever. And then they either find a local job or an online job, or they just have to go back to their country and go live at their parents until they figure things out. And I've seen it happen a lot. And those same people will figure it out because they already got a taste of what life could be here for 6 months. They're like, fuck, I got to get to work. I got to get my money right so that I can come back and live there.
Once you get a taste.
Free.
It's all over.
Once you go Medellin, you never go back.
So I think that is, we have some more questions.
Yeah.
Benny, actually first we have, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Dafa?
Dafact Ninth State.
Why just read the first letter? You don't need to read the whole thing.
He said, hello from Alaska. I have homes in Cali and Dagua.
Oh, I'm putting up a video here in like 2 days that I interviewed a guy from Alaska that just moved down here.
Yeah, the time kettle?
Yeah, the time kettle video, yeah.
Alaska. What a place. What a difference in
difference.
lifestyle, right? Holy shit.
I can't imagine how cold it is right now.
EST, can you extend the 180 right away? Yes, you can. So in other countries, they give you the extra 90 days of visa from the day that you apply. Which is bad, but in Colombia, they actually tack it on to when your original 90 was. So you can basically arrive, do it straight away, and then you get 6 months, which is probably the more responsible thing to do so you don't forget about it, right?
Yeah.
Ben C says, what's the most feasible way for me to rent something furnished long-term for a fair value with the digital nomad visa alone as a US citizen? We're going to get into that a bit later down the list, right?
We're going to get into that.
Awesome.
Julian says, I've been thinking about selling everything here in the US and buy 3 apartments, rent 2, and live in one.
That's a good idea.
And go in one, and for sure looking for a remote position.
Okay.
That's
I mean, if you're renting out 2 apartments, Julian, you might not even need a job.
Yeah, you might not even need it if you have 2.
You could be just chilling. But maybe he's bored. Maybe he wants to do something constructive. Don't just sit around.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to just sit around.
That's what we've both found out about life when we were vacationing, and we're like, oh, this is all just surfing and drinking beers. This is boring after a while, right?
Glenn asks,
Glenn?
Yeah, Glenn.
Oh, yeah, Venus.
Yeah, Venus says, research the neighborhoods and get a feel for different places to live.
That's the first thing that he would do.
That's the first thing you would do, and that's exactly what would be the next step. So let's say that you've got the entry requirements down packed. Next thing that I would do is what you said, is to research the areas where you want to live.
Yes.
So how would you go about doing that?
I would watch some videos. There's many videos on YouTube where people talk about different locations. We even have one. It's comparing the 3 most popular neighborhoods for expats. So you can watch that. Yeah. We have pros and cons about everything. You can read blogs, but those are the best ways. Yeah. And then when you get down here, I always advise people, hey, if you have a month and maybe your thing's not just like enjoy the city for a vacation and go, if you're actually doing like a reconnaissance mission to actually find out if you want to move down here, don't just spend that whole month in Poblado. Go to Poblado for maybe a week, go to Envigado for a week, go to Laureles for a week, feel it out, see which you like best, then spend the last week or whatever remaining time you have in the place you like, and then narrow it down to, I guess, like specific barrio. Right. Because where you live in Manila, Andrew lives in Manila in the Poblado neighborhood, but Manila is very different to like the heat of Provenza or Lleras.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there's so many different little neighborhoods within neighborhoods.
Yeah, micro neighborhoods.
Yeah, micro neighborhoods. For example, in Laureles, where AK lives, there's micro neighborhoods. You can be in a very busy place or a quiet place, or
you can be next to parks, or you can be next to the soccer stadium, or you can be next to the nightclub street where it's pumping 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you got to find that stuff out.
So you got to find that stuff out, and the best way to do that, number one, is to go into obviously Google Maps and start looking at them. But to really get a feel of the neighborhood, the best thing to do is maybe talk to people that are already there and watch videos of people that are already there, like watch our videos. There's a bunch of other YouTube channels also that do like, the bike tour or whatever. They go through the neighborhood. That's what I would do. And also go into the Facebook groups and ask where people are living and what their experience is. Yeah. People love to talk about, and in the Facebook groups, that's one thing that I do like about the Facebook groups here, even though they can be very toxic sometimes. And by sometimes, I mean most of the time.
I was just going to say, don't go to the Facebook groups, because if you ask one question, you're going to get 400 different answers, and 399 of them are incorrect.
And and a lot of people troll on.
Yeah, they do absolute trolls.
It's like, I don't know why people are so bitter. Like it seems like people are so bitter.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But it seems like the people that reply are the bitter ones.
Yeah.
The happy ones aren't even looking at Facebook. Yeah. They're living their life.
Absolutely.
But you could get a good feel from those comments and from those people.
Yeah. I think the best way is to watch videos.
Yeah.
Maybe read blogs, because bitter people are not spending a long time making a video or spending a long time making a vlog. Bitter people are like, oh yeah, I hate my life. Fuck you, you fucking don't come to Medellin, you fucking gringo. And cancel.
I love living in Laureles, except for the 20 stabbings that happened in 2021.
Yeah, idiots, man. Come on, mate. Yeah. Man. Like some people sometimes will come on my channel and then I'll get like notification, 10 new comments, and it'll just be like 10 comments about like absolute hatred. I'm like, why do you have time for this shit? Honestly.
So definitely that's number 2, is to figure out where you want to live, start doing some research. And then once you actually start doing that research, you need to find a place to rent.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part if you're not here physically, because the best and the most trusted website that you can do that on is Airbnb. Yet those prices are inflated. So what I usually recommend to my friends and family, and obviously students from the Medellin Master Class, is like, okay, before you get down here, book your place on Airbnb for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And you're going to pay an inflated price, but while you're down here for those 2 weeks, you start looking for something more long-term at more of a local rate. Even if it is furnished, you can find furnished apartments here without going on Airbnb. But I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're not actually here, because as someone was just saying, COD says, one thing I didn't know about Colombia is that people are so distrustful. Yeah, because people here will scam
Colombia.
Because it's Colombia.
Yeah.
They've been at war for what? 200 years.
Yeah.
Literally, there's still a civil war.
I've seen so many people getting scammed still here in the rental market, haven't you?
Yeah. People still get scammed.
It still happens.
Because in the United States, if you grow up your whole life in the United States, in like, let's say, a good neighborhood in a good state where the crime rate's low and scamming is not a thing, you trust the world. And
you do.
You come to Colombia.
Yeah, even more so in Australia. Like, people still leave their door open and unlocked and stuff.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is a kangaroo come in and
boot you in the face. But here, no, it's not like that.
No, it's not like that. You have to have your guard up a bit when you're coming down here. So the best thing to do is Go through a trusted source if you have one already. If you don't have a trusted source to rent an apartment, go on Airbnb. What some of my friends have done, and some of the people that I rent my Airbnbs to, and I thought this was really smart, was they rent my Airbnb for like a week.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they've rented it, they're already sending me messages about, hey, I'd like to extend. We'll get on WhatsApp or whatever, and then we figure that part out, which is great. Or, hey, I'm going to be coming back after my stay. Can we talk about that, off of the platform?
Yep.
Although Airbnb hates it, it's just a fact of business for them. It's a thing that happens on all platforms. It happens on like these platforms for online work, like Upwork. You get a client there. The goal is to get them off the platform so you don't get charged the
30%, right?
30%.
It's 30, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so the first thing you need to know, like Glenn, actually one of our subscribers, and we've been in contact with Glenn, is he actually reached out to us and asked for some help. We sent him a couple of resources, and he actually found a lot about where to stay. And now he's found the place that's perfect for him. He said he's staying in Bolivariana, a couple of blocks from the university. Great location for many things. Right near me, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So
figure that out. Because if you
Living
stay,
situation.
do not come to Medellin and be like, I've heard so many people go, oh, I hate Medellin. It's just tourists and people trying to sell me all the shit. I'm like, where did you stay, bro? He's like, 1 month in Poblado. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, like Provenza.
Of course. It's just like prostitutes everywhere. I'm like, no shit, dude. You stayed in a hotel in Lleras and didn't leave the block, did you? It's like, yeah. Okay, well, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
You got to try all the places. There's so much.
Yeah, that's like saying, that's like going to Cancun and staying at the resort and saying, oh man, I hate Mexico.
That's like going to LA, staying in Skid Row and be like, fuck, too many homeless people here. I thought LA was movie stars. What is this shit?
Well, I guess that could happen still in LA. There is a lot of homelessness there now. But let's see. Do we have any other questions? Buddha, I have learned a good bit on in books and blogs, but you guys have been the most helpful through your channels. Oh, thank you. I appreciate
in books?
that.
There's books about
Medellin?
Medellin?
There is a couple books on that part of my research for the Medellin Master Class, which was recommended by our mentor, Sunny. Was to research what books are written about what your course is about.
Oh, okay.
And there is a couple, but they're outdated.
Some books about like Lonely Planet or something?
No, like How to Move, like from independent authors on Amazon.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, there's a couple, but there's no like one definitive book. They're all kind of
How to Move to
Medellin.
Oh my God, there's
to
a book.
Medellin to Colombia.
Yeah,
there's a book. We should write a book.
We got enough things going on. We don't know to be authors as well. All right. What else? Questions?
You haven't written anything in like
I don't
10
even
years.
have a
You don't even have a pen. How are we going to write a book?
Voice note to my ghostwriter. Which screen are we looking? Who's happening? What's going on?
Who's happening? I think you have a couple of comments there.
We have Marvelous 16 said the bandeja paisa is the best Colombian dish he's heard. But are there other Colombian dishes you both recommend?
Yeah.
Disclaimer. Don't ask us about food.
Yeah.
We are both vegans living in a country full of meat, so we can't really give you amazing tips.
Yeah, like I can't give you tips right now on where to go, where to eat because I'm vegan, but I've been vegan going on 5 years, so I've been here 13 years. The other half of the other years I was eating meat. And obviously I grew up in a Colombian family. We had a Colombian restaurant. My dad's a chef. He was the chef for that restaurant. And my favorite dishes are ajiaco, mute. I'm a soup guy.
Okay.
I love soup. So ajiaco is a soup. It's a chicken soup. Mute is also a soup. And sancocho. Sancocho is another stew. It's an amazing stew with 3 different types of meat in it, which are pork, beef, and chicken. And I would say my favorite Colombian dish as a whole is not even the bandeja paisa. I just think that's too giant. It's like way too big.
It's basically a bowl of fried meats.
Yeah, it's a bunch of
fried. It's just too heavy. Yeah, I can't deal with it.
I do like the blood pudding, or what do you call that?
The sausage.
Morcilla.
Uh-huh.
The morcilla. Yeah, that's good stuff. But there's a ton of dishes. You would be surprised if you actually look it up and go full list of Colombian dishes, because my dad used to do that. He was the chef. And he would make them all. It's so good.
I've liked all the ones that I've tried, but they're vegan versions, so it's probably not really like the original
it's not the same.
one. Yeah,
it's not the same.
Not the same.
There's a vegan restaurant here called Ama.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
She does a sancocho, a vegan sancocho with like a special type of mushroom.
Yep.
That has the texture of chicken, and it tastes very, very close to like a real ajiaco. I was very impressed.
Amazing. Let's take a couple more questions. But on the topic of food and veganism, I had one of the most random meetups this week on Wednesday, right? A mate of mine he owns a flower shop. He's a local in Medellin.
Yeah.
He often follows us here. Might be here actually today. Rafa, he invited me to his place and said, hey, you want to come around? Me and 12 other vegans are going to be making pizzas here. I said, how the fuck did you find 12 vegans in Medellin? All Colombians as well. So I went there, and they're all Colombians. And what's best, they all own shops, like restaurants and shops and domicilio and stuff like that. So I went there, got all their contacts. We made pizza. It was an awesome night.
Where
really
was
fun. It was at my mate Rafa's house, just up here in Poblado somewhere. And a couple of the girls were singers, like trained singers.
I bet you they were fine.
So at the end of the night,
they all fine. A vegan paisa. It's very. Colombian women are beautiful. Paisas are beautiful, but a vegan paisa, it's got to be something special.
Why? Because they're not eating meat and they got a bit.
Well, yeah, because you have something in common with them.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
So anyway, I don't know what tangent you went on.
I got women on the brain. All right.
My point was, it was a great night, and at the end of the night, these singers sang us a few songs. So
nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Nice. That sounds awesome. That sounds like a good night.
That's just Tuesday night in Colombia.
Yeah.
In Medellin. Yeah. We have EST actually asked a good question. I take calls for work every day. Should I try to find a high-rise condo for less noise, or is it not too bad? No, it's horrible, man. There's noise everywhere.
Well, he lives literally. I live next to Calle 10, but in this office, I hear nothing.
Yeah, but it's soundproof, dude.
Yeah, I've got it soundproofed. Well, it's not even soundproof.
Yeah.
This is actually for echo. So
okay.
that the echo,
but you've kind of treated it a little bit.
This window's still open. It's just like a wooden thing there. But even when I didn't have it, I actually did it more for my neighbors, because since I would talk in here,
they could hear
everything down there. Now they can't.
I honestly have been making videos for like 2 years now, and in every place I stayed, I've really had issues with noise, unless it was high up and it was a more modern building, which was more catered for soundproofing and stuff. So if you need to take calls all the time, I definitely would be maybe checking out the place first, just to make sure it's not
check
no
out
noise.
The place. Check out the place first. John Knox, how you doing? John Knox says, what is the correct way to pronounce Medellin? I say en español, yo digo Medellin. I guess that is kind of different. Medellin. I was like, I say Medellin. No, it's Medellin.
Yeah, people keep getting into you about that. Like,
I don't understand.
Who cares, man?
Why don't you fucking say Colombia right?
Colombia.
It's Colombia.
It's Colombia, but we say Colombia.
Yeah. Why don't you say it right in German? What if a German says Colombia in his tongue? Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong.
No.
As long as I can understand.
As I am all the way NYC said, I'm looking to get into remote work and plan to move to Medellin. I visited there 5 times. Good job. I have no remote work experience. Any suggestions for a beginner? Any suggestions for finding remote work? This is $1 million question. If we figured this out and made a course, we would be able to retire forever, because it's more difficult.
We've got to do that. We should make a course on how to find remote work, because for me, it's always been pretty easy. I mean, honestly, it's like.
But you have to put in work. It's not just like
put in work. Yeah.
Put in your email address and someone's going to send you $50,000. It's not easy at all.
It's not easy. You got to learn a skill. You got to learn a skill that's monetizable, I guess.
Yeah. You got to put in hours and hours of work into perfecting that skill. Yeah. Then you got to find someone to pay you for having that skill. Yeah.
And if you don't have that skill perfected, then you have to lower your rate.
Yes.
And basically, that's what I did. I got into digital marketing.
How much were you charging when you first
started? When I first started, like $4 an hour, $5 an hour. Like literally, that's what I was charging on Upwork, and now my rate is $120 an hour.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. But that's been over 9+ years of being on that platform.
Yeah. I did jobs for free.
Yeah. I would. I've done. If you're not really an entrepreneur if you haven't worked for free.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe anybody that's been an entrepreneur that makes really good money didn't do shit for free at the beginning.
Absolutely.
And I've done a ton of stuff for free.
Yeah.
Including giving out information like on my channel.
This is all free.
This is all free for you guys.
Yeah. Some people might not actually know how much money you make from YouTube. Should we tell them?
Yeah, you could tell.
So my channel averages on average every month 100,000 to 150,000 views. Can someone guess how much I might be getting paid for this? Go ahead, leave your comments there. What do you think? 150,000 views. How much am I getting? Let me know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as Buddha Weatherby said, YouTube has some great channels specializing in getting started in remote work. This is the greatest time for learning skills because we have so many free videos and stuff like that, and people can go on and learn something basically from knowing nothing to knowing a lot very, very fast. So if you put in the time, if you are passionate about it, you'll get there. That's what I did. I learned everything I know. I'm a construction engineer. I had zero skills to work remote, right? I learned everything I know about content creation, marketing, Facebook ads, everything like that just from watching YouTube. Yeah. And taking some paid courses and stuff. But it depends what stage you're at.
I'm the same way with digital marketing. I took a bunch of free courses just to learn search engine optimization and how to build a website on WordPress, etc. And then I went and as I was learning, I started applying it.
Yeah.
And now, but like you said, today, in this day and age, is the best time to get into remote work because there's so many options.
So many.
All right, so we've got a few people that have guessed how much money AK makes on his channel. Paul Ashwell says $98 US.
Okay.
EST says $1,500 a month.
Oh, I wish.
Aaron says $75 a month.
Erland says $75. Hey, Erland, how you doing, man? We had a chat on Monday.
George says $18.
It's okay. So we got CBL Daddy is the closest. He had $300. He said $375.
$375 a month
for the
just on AdSense.
Just on AdSense. So YouTube, what they pay me for you guys watching the videos, and I'm full time on it. I don't have another job like you.
Yeah.
So for the first 10 months, I got paid zero, nothing.
Oh yeah.
I made basically maybe 50 videos without getting paid a cent, and then now I get paid basically $300 to $350 a month,
which is still low,
less than Colombian minimum wage.
Is it?
It is less than Colombian.
Wait, what's the Colombian minimum wage?
I think it's about $320 or $330.
I think it was $280.
No, I thought it was like about $300 now with the
guys. Does anybody know what the Colombian
because
minimum
exchange
wage
rate has dropped.
Exchange rate.
It's about $300.
It's about $300.
Yeah.
So you're making
Colombian minimum wage.
But YouTube is a tough platform to make money on if you don't have like millions of views.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't make money from YouTube.
No.
For example, we have the Medellin Master Class, which definitely blows whatever you make on YouTube out of the water.
Yeah.
But you have to have a product.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. That's why I said it's all about working for free, especially when you don't have the skills to translate already, right?
Yeah.
Let's get into number two. So first we talked about entry requirements. So if anyone has joined in late, we're talking about what you need to plan step by step to make your move to Medellin, right? So number one was check the entry requirements.
Right.
If you can't get in, you're fucked. Number two is figure out where you want to live. So do some research, maybe watch some videos, blogs, and figure out which area is really nice for me. Because especially in Medellin, this might not be the case for other cities, but in Medellin, like Poblado is very different to Laureles, to very different to Envigado, to Sabaneta. All the areas are very different. The prices vary a lot. What's affordable to you? What activities do you like to do? Figure that out. And then book a place. Yeah, and you said book Airbnb first because that's the safest before you get here.
Yeah.
And then you get here, and then what's the next thing? So you've arrived here, customs or security has let you in. You're in your apartment, having a cup of coffee. What's the next thing to do?
I would say start.
There's something you need to do before you get here.
Yeah, before you even get here, start learning Spanish. If you don't know Spanish, start learning Spanish. It's best to come to Colombia. I mean, it's not necessary. But your life and AK has said this many times on his videos, is that your life will be more enjoyable in Medellin if you actually know the language. So getting started with online courses, maybe. For example, you can get an online tutor that lives in Medellin via one of the Facebook groups or just searching online. There's
italki. Italki is great.
Italki is great. So you can get like a one-on-one person that you're doing basically like a Zoom call with.
Yeah.
Maybe once a week, twice a week, and you're improving your Spanish. On top of that, you're learning about the culture because your Spanish teacher is a paisa. And then when you get here, you have the possibility of meeting that person. So now you have a friend on the ground here. So it ticks off a bunch of boxes that definitely make your life better. So learning Spanish is definitely on the priority list, right?
Yeah, so definitely do that. Even like Babbel, you can do that. That's a great app. And then that's going to help you really navigate the city, because if we've said it many, many times before, less than 4% of the population here speaks any type of English.
Yeah, even in the tourist area, for example, the sports bar that I go to, which is right next to Provenza.
Yeah.
Frequented by a lot of foreigners. At times it's like only foreigners are there, especially with NFL Sunday football or UFC fights. There's a boxing match tonight, so I'm sure there'll be a bunch of gringos up in there. And they all speak English, but none of the girls that work there, bartenders or waitresses, speak English at all. Like there's maybe one or two that know something, but you have to speak to them in Spanish.
Yeah.
And that's right in the touristy area.
That's not even that bad, because you can get by with that. You can just say like cerveza or whatever.
Yeah.
But some things are more difficult. Like if you go to the gym and you want to sign up, ain't nobody speaking English there.
No.
So how are you going to ask the questions you want to ask, or how you want to do anything that? This back and forth Google Translate is tough.
It's tough. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do Google Translate out here, especially if you're trying to make meaningful connections with people. It's hard if you're like, oh, here's my phone. Talk into it now.
And another thing that people might not have thought about is that just how you're perceived if you speak the language or even try to speak the language.
Yeah.
People are a lot more welcoming, and they'll like you a lot more if you just try, because it shows that you're putting some effort into their country. If you just like get shove it in their face, they're not going to be that happy.
It's going to be tough. It's and I've seen it happen. I've seen guys on dates like doing the whole Google Translate thing. I'm like, how far can this go? Like unless if it's just lust and it's like a thing, one time thing.
It's not going to go very far.
It might not go very far. I mean, I could be wrong, but learning Spanish is an important one. You can definitely find a bunch of groups or a bunch of info in the groups on Facebook. For that, you can definitely rely on the Facebook groups, because people really don't have anything to troll about there.
No.
It's like, hey, I've tried to learn Spanish. Who's been your best tutor? There you could get a lot of good recommendations because they've gone through it.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to help you living in Medellin, because you're going to be not just stuck in one little pocket talking to all the gringos, although gringos are fun to talk to, but you live in a different country, you want to talk to the locals, right? And you're just going to be set off on all these different random paths in life. Like, for example, this week I went to Rafa's house, having a dinner there. Last night I went to an hour from Medellin in the mountains here to where my girlfriend's dad grew up. In the hood, as people would say. And I was talking to all her family and stuff like that. Can't do that if you don't know Spanish.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be tough. Hey, Squishy Plum, thank you for the $5 dono on AK's channel.
Also, nice name.
Squishy
Thanks,
Plum.
Squishy.
Squishy Plum. Is that like an innuendo to a booty?
I don't know. I like it. Right? EST said, could someone already in the masterclass upgrade to elite? Yes, we just had someone doing it.
Yeah, we basically all of the elite people have been upgrades.
Yeah.
So we discount the amount usually of what you pay for the master class to upgrade to elite. So it's not like you have to pay a separate amount. Just because the elite is much more pricier, but it's also a VIP service where we do everything for you. It's more work for us.
Should we talk a bit about that?
Yeah, we should talk about that and give some info.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our Masterclass Elite package, which is basically for those of you who like everything done for you, like the Comfort VIP service.
Yeah.
So you just get on a call with us and you tell us, I want to get a place in this area. I want it for 12 months. I want to join these groups. I want to find salsa lessons, Spanish school, and I want all this done. And on top of that, we basically do everything for you. We just have a WhatsApp group with you dedicated. You tell us what you want. We're helping you, and we get you sorted in 90 days or less,
or your money back.
Or you don't pay.
90 days or less, we get you situated here with your requirements for living here. For example, we've had an elite student that wanted to buy an apartment with a great view, a perfect place for hosting because he's very social, etc. And we found an apartment in less than a month. And he's literally closing on it right now.
2.5 weeks. He signed the papers
he
today.
Signed the promise.
Signed the papers.
To purchase.
Yeah. So if you want to buy an apartment, that can be difficult too. And obviously you can do it, but you need to know the right agents and stuff like that. It's all about having a good contacts.
We have such good agents. Yeah. Man. We have like the best. You know, a lot of people complain about, you know, in Colombia not being able to find like good customer service or good people to work with. All of the people that we work with that are basically part of our masterclass or our team are just awesome. Like they're so good.
How many apartments do you reckon we showed Raj amongst our 3 agents? Probably 20?
Probably 20, yeah.
20 places.
Raj saw 20 places in about 3 weeks and settled on one.
Yeah, plus we hooked him up with the lawyers and everything to get his visa sorted and all that. Yeah, and how it worked for him was he actually got the normal master class.
Yeah.
And then he viewed everything and he was like, I love this class, guys. That's really, really good. And said, hey, by the way, I spoke to him and said, hey, if you want everything done for you, we can upgrade you. And he said, yeah, man. Let's do that. Yeah. So
yeah, because he is he's a busy guy and he has his own businesses to take care of and stuff. And he was only going to be here for a month. And he's like, he gave himself that timeline and gave us that timeline. Yeah. He's like, I have a month and I want to get this, that, and that done. And we're like, okay, we'll do it. Or money back.
Yeah, basically. And that's why we have the calls as well.
To work.
That's why we have the calls as well, guys. You can check the link in the description once this video is over, or I'm sure we can put it in our walls later. Yeah. You can book a call with us because we need to know what we're signing up for. Yeah, because we say like, we do it for you 90 days or less, or we give you money back. We don't want someone being like, hey, I want a penthouse for $50,000. Right, so we say, I can't do that. Yeah, so we need to get your requirements, make sure you're on the right page, make sure you're a good fit for what we're offering, and then we move forward with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on to number 4 now.
Yes.
Number 3 was learning some Spanish. What would be the next step when moving to Medellin apart from the first 3 that we went through?
Okay, so you're situated here. So now you're here, right?
Now you're here.
You've arrived.
And these are things that you can kind of start working on too before you even get here.
Yeah. There's all these things you can do before you even arrive. Yeah. But now you've arrived in the city and then you've decided you really, really like living here. Maybe you want to extend your time because, as I said before, you only get 180 days in the country on a typical tourist visa. So you need to figure out actual long-term visas. That can be anything from, as I discussed before, the digital nomad visa, which gives you 12 months, or in some cases, 2 years. Usually you get the 2 years if you apply from your home country. So if you're in the US, you go to the embassy there and apply. I have heard some stories where they'll give you 2 years. Usually if you do it from within Colombia, you'll get 1 year.
Okay.
So digital nomad visa is one. If you want to study Spanish at maybe a local university or institution here, you can get a student visa. If you want to do some investing, then you can get a real estate visa. Right. So the big thing, there's 2 different types of visas. One is called a migrant visa and one's called a visitor visa.
Okay.
So the student visa and the digital nomad visa, these are temporary visas.
Yeah.
Usually people that come here, with the word nomad is in the title, people come here with the intention of doing something and then leaving.
Right.
So those do not count towards residency. You can get 100 years of digital nomad visa. You're still not going to be able to apply for residency.
Unless they change the law.
Unless they change the law. Unless they change the law. But migrant visa is they accumulate. So you need 5 years of a migrant visa and then you can apply for residency. Then you don't need visas anymore. Yeah. And some of those, example, are domestic partnership, if you're in a relationship living with a Colombian, which is what I'm going to do.
Situation.
If you're married, if you are a investor, if you've invested over, let's call it $150,000 in an apartment, or you've invested over about 30K in a local business, hiring locals, etc.
Okay.
Those are the types that you can accumulate, get 5 years, and get residency.
Yeah.
So you'd need to research that.
Yeah.
That's the next step.
That's your research right there.
Yeah.
And even going a step beyond that, you can start getting in contact with visa attorneys out here. For example, our go-to guys are the guys at Nexo Legal, and they all speak English. So that is a big plus because you want to know exactly all of these rules. We know them off, the top of our head because we deal with this every day. But if you're new and you don't know about visas, and let's say you don't just plan on living here for 1 year and then leaving and then going off to another country like a nomad, but you want to stay here longer term and maybe one day get residency, then you should learn all of these laws and what is good for you, right? What would work for you. So you should start making that connection with a real estate attorney, with a visa attorney. and or a personal assistant that can help you, because it's not 100% necessary to get a visa attorney to help you with this stuff. You could do it yourself.
Yeah.
You could do the visa stuff all yourself. You might make mistakes, which may cost
I would not
you.
recommend that.
Yeah.
Maybe doing it, the digital nomad visa, you might be able to put together because a lot of
yeah.
information. But like investment, just in our masterclass, there's 2 things that will really, really fuck you up if you don't know, and then you'll get your investment denied.
Right.
And what they do is, if you do this one mistake, the penalty is the cost of your investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
150K it could be.
Yeah, 150K, that would suck.
Yeah. So we only learnt this because we interviewed the guys and we got all this information and we
Yeah.
asked these questions.
Yeah.
So don't do that by yourself. It's going to be a horrible idea. Some of the other things like the marriage visa and stuff, you need to get a lot of documents sent over, apostille, translated. It's just like, I don't know who wants that headache,
Right.
man.
Yeah. Squishy Plum with another
Yeah,
$5
thanks, Squishy.
dono. It's farmland in Colombia, easy to hard.
Is farmland in Colombia, I'll translate for you, even though it's in English. Is farmland in Colombia easy or hard to buy?
It's easy to buy if you've got the money.
Okay. Like anything in Colombia.
Yeah, I've never bought land, but I have friends that have bought land here and built on it. And buying the land is pretty easy. It's a very similar process as to buying real estate here. There's you'll need a real estate attorney, or it's highly recommended that you use one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too hard. There's a bunch of land for sale out here.
Okay, Kent Covington, he's been following me for a while.
Let's
he watches
go,
all our stuff.
$9.99.
He says, thanks for the great content and for giving back to the community, and he gives us $9.99. Thank you, Kent.
Thank you, Kent.
What a legend. And thanks for following us along on this journey, and I hope we've helped you with our content as well along the way. I'm going to do boom, 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 quick questions, right? Isaac Rodriguez says, I'm going to ask you these questions. You answer.
Okay,
Rapid fire. Does $3K a month a good amount to live over there?
Yes, it's more than enough.
That was quick. This one's for me. He says, Xavier says, how do you compare Brazil to Colombia? Ooh. I love Brazil. Mm-hmm. I think they're very, very friendly, amazing place, very diverse, lots to do. But I didn't get the full experience because I don't speak Portuguese.
Right.
Maybe if I spoke Portuguese, I would have as much fun there as I did in Colombia.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not yet. I want to learn next year, but not yet.
Yeah.
Let's see. Warren Kenner, he said, could you go there, stay in a digital nomad visa, and save up for an investment in the meantime? You guys keep saying the digital nomad visa doesn't count towards residency.
Yeah. Yeah, so the time that you spend here on a digital nomad visa won't go towards your residency. Mm-hmm. But that's a good question. Will it mess up your chances to invest?
It will.
And the answer is yes. And why is that?
It's because there's a certain... we won't. Actually, you can invest, but if you want to get an investment visa, there's a certain process you have to follow that you can't do if you've been in the country for a whole year. That kind of excludes you. If you want more information, Medellin Master Class.
Medellin Master Class for that, because it gets a little... you could get in the weeds there.
Yeah.
But I guess the main answer is yes, it will screw with your opportunity of getting an investor visa, so you want to make sure that you plan that out right.
Mm-hmm. EST, safest area in Poblado.
Safest area in Poblado?
Police station.
Police station. They're not even safe, I don't think. No, I would say, the whole of Poblado is pretty safe. I guess the unsafest area would be right on Calle 10.
Parque Lleras,
well, Parque Lleras is safe.
Have you seen the map of the...
It's bordered off by police.
Okay. I've seen the little map of the hot zones. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I've seen
And then it's like green is good, red is bad.
Yeah.
And then it's like all the north and all those hoods is like red, and Poblado is completely green, Lleras, red.
Yeah, so like that area around Parque Lleras could be dangerous. And when I say dangerous, it's basically like pickpocketing's happening there. There's really no armed robberies there because there's always police presence. But getting pickpocketed there is common.
Yeah.
Coming out of a bar drunk at 3 a.m.
Getting drugged?
Yeah, getting drugged, that's happening at people's houses. Not on the street.
But I have heard it also happens there too.
Oh, really? Like on the street?
On the street sometimes, depending who you're hanging out with.
Yeah. Parque Lleras is cool to go walk through, but I don't really hang out there. I wouldn't.
No need.
I've been here for 13 years, so I don't really want to hang out there. But I guess if I were a tourist and I was brand new, I would want to check it out and see what the whole hoopla is about.
Yeah, just walk past and have a look at what's happening.
Yeah.
Squishy Plums again. Thank you again for the dono, $5 right there. He said, I have a permanent grill. Is it safe to walk around Medellin with gold teeth? I would say so, because they're not really going to steal that from you.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anybody with gold teeth here, first of all, so I don't know how a local will react to that.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not something that they can grab like a gold chain.
But like, if you have gold teeth, does that mean that you also wear like gold chains, a nice watch, $300
That's not good.
Jordans?
That's not good. We said that about that. $300 Jordans are fine because you can buy Jordans at Centra for $5, and you can't tell the difference. Can't tell the difference there. They're doing that well.
But what I'm saying is that if someone has a gold grill, it can come along with other expensive lavish things that could be considered giving papaya.
I don't know who doesn't know this by now. We've said this in so many videos, but if you wanna travel and wear gold chains and flash the diamond encrusted Rolex and stuff, Medellin is not the place for you.
Yeah,
it's not going to end well.
Yeah, it's not a good place to do that. There are places and times you can do that here, but for the most part, if you are a traveler, or let's say a person that likes to walk a lot, someone that likes to get within, get a feel for the city by walking through it and getting on local transportation, it's not the right place for that.
I used to think that if you wear all this gold chain and stuff, but you just go from Uber to your house to like a bar, and then from the bar back, it could be okay, but it's actually not.
It's not okay.
Because you actually had a story about that too. So
at the bar that I go to recently, like a month ago, a guy went in there with a gun and robbed a guy that was giving papaya. He basically was there all weekend going to that same bar. He had a $10,000 chain on with like big words like it was like his daughter's name encrusted in like diamonds. It was like $10,000.
And someone saw him from this.
And a $30,000 Rolex. Damn. And the guy had been there since Friday, and it was Monday. I had gone in there for Monday Night Football, and I left the bar to go home because it was like 10:30. It was a blowout game, and when one of the waitresses runs after me and says, Andrew," I'm like, "What did I leave?" I'm like touching my pockets. I'm like, "I got my phone, my wallet," and she's like, "Somebody just walked in there with a gun and is robbing the place," and I'm like,
This is why
I was just in there. And then lo and behold, like the guy left, the police came and everything. But after I heard the story, the guy had been there all weekend wearing the same watch, the same chain, talking big numbers because he's trying to buy the bar from the owners, being super American. And somebody tailed him. Somebody saw him. So they also arrested the person that tipped off the robbers. The person that tipped off the robbers is one of the guys that sells flowers outside on Calle 10 that had seen him all weekend and contacted the guys. And you can see him on the video camera and the security footage of him talking to the robbers before they robbed.
Oh, yeah.
So he was arrested as well. It was definitely... So that kind of shit happens when you keep going to the same place and you're wearing like expensive stuff and someone's looking out and they know your next move. It's
like the fourth, ninth state, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but he says, I've been going everywhere with gold chains, never a problem. It's not a problem until it is a problem, right?
Yeah, it's never a problem.
In Cartagena, there was a guy who unfortunately lost his life about a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason they robbed him was because of his chain.
Yeah.
They robbed him for his gold chain.
And he didn't want to give it up.
And he resisted. They shot him.
They shot him.
They don't care about that shit.
Yeah, remember here, there is no life in jail, in prison. 45 years is the max. And if you get 45 years, a lot of people only do 15 of those years for murder. This is for murder.
Yeah.
So killing someone here, the cost of, I guess the value on life is less here than in the U.S. That's for sure. I mean, when you watch people drive, you'll understand that.
So long story short, I personally, if you ask me, I would say don't wear any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you're putting yourself at risk.
It's your life. All right. So let's see what else. Sebastian says
the peso need to go up. Yeah, it's been getting bazookaed lately.
Well, I've got pretty good inside source. Well, it's not an inside source. It's
you got the inside trading tip.
No, people that I'm in a group of people that are investors, and they presume that by this time next year, so in a year from now, the peso will be closer to 6,000.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because of the things that are happening with oil, politics. Etc. So that's what I've heard. I don't really care if it goes up and down. I'm chilling.
all these people care watching. It's going to be getting
25%. Talking to myself right now.
They're going to be getting 25%, 30% more value for their money, dude. Come on. Just because you're doing...
CBL Daddy, fireworks in Medellin. Let's go, CBL.
Every
Darwin,
day.
I may be out there for the holidays. Oh, nice, Darwin.
Nice. Holidays almost finished.
Buddha says, DC Rob had a video live stream with a guy getting scoped at a sidewalk table, an outlier, but just keep track of surroundings. Yeah, and he was also with 2 prostitutes. I saw that video.
That's not an outlier. That's doing dumb shit. Come on, man.
2 prostitutes in Cartagena.
Buddha.
What's up, Sima, Kama? What's Canada? Is that...
What language are you speaking?
Sure, Andrew? Yes, I'm sure.
JJM director. I've never understood men wearing jewelry.
Men wearing jewelry? I mean, it's like kind of gone through the history of man.
Do you have anything pierced?
No.
No, me neither. I never got into that trend.
Nope. I don't have anything pierced. I don't have any tattoos either.
I do.
I could have gotten some prison tattoos, but I never got them.
There's a little sailing thing there.
Yeah,
anchor.
Like for you, like your tattoos look really cool, and they probably all have a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
Because you could tell that they have meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, if I were to get a tattoo, it would have to be like super meaningful.
Could be your child's name.
My child's name right across.
Or maybe get a chain with the name like this.
No, yeah.
Someone called you 42-year-old virgin. 42-year-old is correct. Virgin while he's having a kid.
I am a virgin.
So he's an immaculate conception. My God.
My child's going to be the next...
I don't know what to say.
Oh my God. I've never understood people wearing jewelry in Colombia. Like I don't understand people coming here and wanting to flash jewelry, or in any developing nation for that matter.
Yeah.
Like you can go to any developing nation. Obviously, there are places like in. I would feel bad, like if I were to go like to let's say the Philippines, where the crime rates might be low, or I don't know. I'm just naming off whatever.
Let's say South Africa.
South Africa, where is that a developing nation?
Yeah.
So it's a developing nation, and maybe like the crime rates were low. I would feel bad walking around with expensive ass shit when everyone else is eating out the fucking garbage can, right? Like,
that's true.
Why would I do that? Morally and spiritually, I would feel like crap. I don't know.
I don't have anything either. So I'm not
hey,
sure.
Taco Filling with the 2022.
There's people in their names.
Taco Filling.
Hilarious. How do people... We got squishy plums and taco fillings. And
Taco Filling says...
Making me hungry.
What if you're walking around on Mania or good parts of Medellin, boots, cargo pants, a T-shirt, probably safe to walk or necessary to drive everywhere?
I don't know how...
You'll be like
I don't know how...
You'll be roasting in that.
I don't know how boots and cargo pants and a T-shirt are giving papaya. That's the opposite. That's like, I'm ready for...
Yeah, you're fine with that, but you're going to be so hot.
Yeah. Maybe you're not in Armenia. Maybe
not in Armenia.
Yeah.
But
that's fine. You can do that.
Yeah, you can be fine. You'll be fine, Taco Filling.
Yeah.
That's like that's fine. But I think you'll get more of the sense of the Colombian fashion, or at least the paisa fashion once you get down here.
T-shirt and jeans.
T-shirt and jeans is completely fine. Like T-shirt and jeans, walking around any neighborhood, you'll be fine. Well, not any neighborhood, but
Karma's commenting many random things. I have no idea what he's talking about. Do you?
What?
He said, Mrs. Lizzo, big girls will give it to any guy. Do you have an inside joke going with this guy?
I have no idea.
What the hell is that going on? All right, let's get to number 6. Okay,
yes.
Are we done with visas? Anyone have any questions on visas?
Yeah, if you have questions
drop
about
them
visas,
here.
Go ahead.
And then let's answer some questions. Let's leave it open for visas. Let's close visas. Make sure you guys are happy with that before we move to the next one. But you got some more questions here.
Okay, yeah, Christopher
says,
wife
and 2 kids. That's exciting.
What?
Christopher says, I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay.
Thinking of visiting Medellin for a week with my wife and 2 kids who are 2 years old and 4 years old. That's very cute. Limited Spanish. Is this a good idea? Bad idea? We do stuff during the day and chill at a hotel during the night.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. You have a lot of things to do. A lot of people don't realize that Medellin is pretty family friendly. And what I mean by that is that there are a lot of activities and places that you can go with your kids.
Yeah.
It's not like Disneyland or whatever, but there are places, for example, like Parque Explora, the Botanical Garden, El Tesoro Mall is has a lot of little like Ferris wheels and things for the kids to do. Right now, there's an ice rink in the middle of Santa Fe.
Yep.
It
looks good over there.
Yeah. So a lot of this surrounds around malls as well. But that's like Colombian culture to go to malls.
We spoke about it in a couple of videos. So many families are coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no longer like needs to be. Also, if you look at all the stats of people coming in trouble. None of them are families.
Yeah.
None of them are women.
Yeah, you never hear of a family getting scoped.
No. Families are hopefully not hanging out with prostitutes and porquerías.
Well, we want someone to take care of our kid. We thought we'd grab one off the street.
Cheap labor. Yeah, that has not happened.
Hey, T-Mac with the $9.99. What's good? T-Mac says, I heard that near Unicentro that a robber with a fake gun was beat to death about a month ago. Have you witnessed vigilante? Yes, I have.
I saw a video about this, and it was very tough to watch.
It is hard to watch.
So someone... they do this a lot in Colombia because they don't want people to do this shit. I saw this video that someone came past and tried to snatch like a bag from a woman on a motorbike. Yeah. And then other people saw. So 2 guys in like motos chased him. Wow. Someone in a car was trying to hit him. Whoa. And this guy jumped off. And basically immediately it was like 10 guys getting onto him on the ground, hitting and booting him in the face, and it was just blood everywhere. Wow. And then the police comes up, and the guy booting was like, "Hey, what up? What's happening?" Just chilling, nothing happening. And all the people, like old people, kids going to school and stuff, walking on the way, and they're just, another guy getting bashed, whatever. Wow. So it's like, they'll fuck you up.
Yeah, there's vigilante justice because people are just fed up with the justice system here. Yeah. Because that person, if that doesn't happen to that person, they don't get beat up. They'll go to jail for the day, and then that next day they're free. And that happens because the only way for them to get time or be charged with anything is for someone to denounce them, do the denuncia. Yeah. And most people will not denounce them if they were the victim of a crime because they don't know if this guy is a gang member from some hood out here, and then they're going to come back and kill him after they get out of jail, or one of his family members. Like that could happen. So a lot of people just don't even, file the report, and they get out the next day and they go on with robbing again. Yeah, but that's just one video I saw, but it happens a lot. Yeah, they don't play around, man. They want to clean up their streets. They don't want this stuff happening. Exactly. Yeah. We have a good question from Eric about visas. What about the visa? What about the visa for getting your girlfriend over there? Long process? Over here, he said. To where? So Eric, I'm assuming you're Colombian or you're. Yeah, where are you? Or is he from the U.S.? I want to get his girlfriend to the U.S. Why are you bringing sand to the beach, first of all? Second of all. Please clarify. I don't understand. Ed. Yeah, clarify. Are you bringing your girlfriend from the United States here and you are Colombian? Because that's usually the fastest way for someone to get their visa or residency here is to marry into, Colombia, basically. Yeah. What about... budget for visa lawyer first year? What's the budget for a visa lawyer? Yeah. That's a good question. What would be a reasonable budget? A reasonable budget about $300 to $500 depending on what type of visa you want. Not so bad considering they're lawyers. Yeah, considering how much are they charging? Hopefully get it done. Yeah, right. Exactly. Shout out to the Eamon says shout out to Tomas at Nexo Legal. Yes. Yeah, good guy. Tomas, good guy. Who said that? Eamon. How does he know Tomas? Eamon de Cuba. Yeah, Tomas, awesome guy. He is actually the one that helped us with our immigration on our master class. Yeah. Oh, nice. Great guy. Yeah. I thought you meant Eamon. I'm like, no, he did not help us. What's the best vegan restaurant in Medellin? Go. Best vegan restaurant in Medellin. Shoot. See, the thing is that when I order vegan stuff from vegan restaurants, but the best vegan restaurant I would say is Vegan and Veggie. That's a good one. In Manila. That's my favorite. But it's not like where I go all the time. Okay. Because I do like other dishes from other restaurants that have vegan dishes, which is great. Okay. Yeah. What about you? Do you have a go-to? I like this place over there in Poblado. It's called where they have the pizzas and they have the live music. Zorba? Zorba. I like that one. Best vegan pizza in Medellin. Maybe in the world that I've had. Bro, I have one right. Have you been to El Hecho right here downstairs? The sushi place? Yeah. Yeah. Really good too. They have such good, they have like a little curry soup there. Yeah. They've got wonton soup, but it's all vegan. There's a lot of vegan places here. When I tell people, it's vegan sushi, they're like, the hell? Because it sounds like just avocado and rice. Yeah, but when you go there, it's literally gotten awards for being. They're very creative with what they do. In Medellin. Yeah, a lot of fusion and different cheap. Stuff. Yeah, it's cheap. Yeah, and it's getting to a point now with a lot of tourists that
most places, they have at least one vegan place. We even went with our masterclass group like a month ago to a traditional Colombian restaurant.
Yeah,
Ato Viejo. And even there, they have a vegan dishes.
That's Medellin's come a long way.
Yeah.
And we're going places.
You want to take some more questions? Or should
we have another question, a good one. Well, I don't know the answer to this. I don't think you have veneers, but how much are veneers there?
No idea.
I have no idea.
Cheaper than the US.
This tooth is fake because it broke off years ago, and I got it fixed here.
Yeah.
Because it was like over 10 years that I had it, so that was like pennies on the dollar. Like
T-Mac says, I brought my wife and her 11-year-old daughter to Medellin last year. What do they think? What did your 11-year-old daughter think of Medellin? Did she enjoy it? Did she feel unsafe? Did she have good activities to do here?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I never really thought about it. But
yeah. Cost of teeth whitening. Have you ever gotten your teeth whitened here?
Only with Colgate teeth whitening toothpaste.
That's the one I use too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in the red.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I love that. That's a good. It really works too.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, my teeth are pretty white. Yours are super white.
Yeah, it's because I'm not. Because I'm dark. It's good contrast. Let's get to number 6 since no one else had any questions about.
So visas, taking care of visas was number 5. Number 6, what would be the number 6 thing for you to do that you could probably start
you can start
getting arranged back home without even having to be in Medellin?
Yeah. I would start looking for activities that I want to do and connecting with people, like-minded people who like to do these activities too. So I'm not getting to the city and be like, oh, what do I do now? I might even have Tuesday night, I found this event, Thursday this event, Saturday this event, let's go.
Yeah.
You can even join the WhatsApp groups and talk to the people there and make friends before you're alive. Before you arrive. Before you arrive, because that's what makes a city. Isn't that right, Andrew? It's not like the place or the cost of living or whatever. It's the type of people that you meet there and connect with and grow.
Yeah, I've heard this so many times from people on both ends. Mm-hmm. One is that they didn't like their stay in Medellin, and this is the very few times that I've heard this, that someone doesn't like Medellin, and it's valid. I mean, not everybody's going to like it, but more people like it than not. But some of the people that have said that they didn't like Medellin and they left is because they couldn't find their tribe or have connections with people, deeper connections. And usually usually that's tied to them not learning the language and hence not being able to make real friends that don't just want money from you or stuff like that.
Or friends that live here, friends that don't just come for a couple of weeks and go. Because I lived that life for a long time. I lived in a hostel in Mexico for 6 months. And it was great, but it would just be, I met this person, had a great connection, they leave in a week.
Yeah.
Next person, same stories, same shit all the time, right?
Yeah.
So if you meet people that live here, then it's a lot better.
Right. Yeah, it's way better. And another fault that they have also is that they don't get out of their little bubble, and it's usually like the Poblado bubble.
Yeah.
Where, all they do is just live their life. And usually these people either work from home or are retired or early retirees. And then they go to the bar at night. And that's the only people they hang out with. And they don't have any local connections. So it's really hard to really enjoy the place when you don't have friends. So the best way to make friends here, in my opinion, has been through activities. Like some of my best Colombian friends I met through playing basketball here.
Yeah.
Basketball tournaments, being on basketball teams. Some of the best friends I've met here also was when I was a teacher. Which are still my friends, and a couple of them I employ. I met them while I was teaching. We were colleagues, and we just are basically lifelong friends.
Yeah.
So doing stuff within the community, whether it's activities or even just getting a local job, or volunteering.
Yeah.
That's
mine the same too. Like I met a lot of mates from playing tennis and even at the gym sometimes and volunteering and everything like that. But a big hurdle that you guys might encounter, depending on which country you're from, but most countries, it might be weird to just speak to someone, a stranger, immediately and say, what are you doing? Where are you from?
Want to be friends?
Yeah, want to be friends. Want to be friends, or you want to hang out?
You used to do that when you were kids.
When you were a kid, yeah. And isn't it weird that it used to be completely normal when we were kids, and then somehow through society, it's like, don't do that. Don't talk to people. Just look down and keep walking.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all here.
Yeah, it's not. And Medellin and Colombian people as a whole, as someone had mentioned, are untrusting to each other. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a Colombian, you kind of usually you've got your guard up to other Colombians that are going to try to help you and stuff because you don't want to get scammed. It's a country where a lot of the population are in poverty and they're trying to come up some way, so they're going to try to get over on you. So people do have their guard up. But when it's a foreigner,
they love it.
They welcome it with open arms
Yeah.
because they can't believe that a foreigner would come down here to just scam them.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a lot of it's a different reception to that type of person coming in.
Yeah.
To like a group or to but they are very cliquey here.
Yeah,
I'm going
to give you a story to say this point about how easy it is to meet people here, especially if you're a good person and you're doing the right things, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know about the US, how it is. Australia, this would be impossible. This would never happen, right?
Right.
So Raj, we keep going back to Raj because he's been here 3 weeks. He's basically done everything. He's just full head on, learning Spanish, meeting people, going to language changes twice a week, volunteering. This guy's basically done something every single day, going hard in Medellin, right?
Yeah.
He told me the other day he was in Poblado on a date. And he's a very talkative social person. So he was just chatting with the waiter. You know, most people with waiters is like, give me this, fuck off. Yeah. He was like, hey, what are you doing? How's your day going? How's it? Blah, blah. Just making chit chat with him, trying to speak Spanish because he's learning Spanish. And this waiter asked him, hey, Mr. Raj, the waiter in the end spoke English. So he said... He said,
I could just imagine Raj like sweating bullets trying to express himself in Spanish.
And this guy just speaks fluent English. So anyway, he's like, Mr. Raj. He called him Mr. Raj, which is kind of cute as well. Mr. Raj, what are you doing for Christmas? And he's like, oh, I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it, but I don't have any plans. He's like, so you don't know anyone here you can spend Christmas with? He's like, no, a couple of my friends, but they're going to be out of town. He said, like, I'll be out of here and stuff. So he said, that's not acceptable. You're in my country. I want to make it a nice time for you. I personally am inviting you to my family's Christmas barbecue.
Wow.
And I'm not taking no for an answer. Here's the number. Wow. You have to come. I don't want you to be here in my country and alone on Christmas. And you seem like a nice guy, so you have to come. So that's what he's doing for Christmas.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
Would that happen ever in the US?
No, I mean, it could, but... I mean, maybe in places like in the South, where people are super...
Like Georgia or something?
Yeah, Louisiana, Georgia, you know, Atlanta,
I would like to do that.
Like that.
That would be
California,
fun.
Probably not, unless if it were like other Hispanics or Filipinos are super...
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I walked into a Filipino's house that were doing karaoke or like singing, and they love that stuff. Yeah. And they would just invite me in to eat and stuff, and it was like in my neighborhood. But
Filipino is a different story.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. Yeah, but that's an awesome story.
That's a great story. Yeah. That can actually happen here in Medellin. It's even happened to me so many times where I just met someone once. They're like, hey, I got this event. Come, I want to show you around. I want to show you this that I love. I want to show you a bit about my country, my city. Let's do it. And usually I'm just like, I like new experiences. I'm like, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah, I think it can happen in the U.S., but it's cool that it happens here often, especially for foreigners. Because, you know, even though Medellin has had their best year for tourism this year, it's still very virgin, I would say. A lot of people here don't have a lot of interaction with foreigners. So when they do meet someone, even though that guy was probably a waiter and he spoke English, and he's probably having interactions with foreigners all the time, he was still like, you need to...
But I think it also helped that Raj was a different type of foreigner.
Yeah, he's not like... Yeah, he was very friendly.
That waiter works in the most busy part of Poblado, where it's probably a lot of people don't speak in English, just doing Google Translate to him, don't speak Spanish or don't even try, even though he spoke English. But Raj was trying to speak Spanish, trying to fit in, asking him questions about his life and stuff. So that also helps. That also goes back to what we said in point 3, learn Spanish because people will take to you more kindly.
Yeah. EST says that shit don't happen in Georgia. I guess not. Wait, wasn't that... I remember during Thanksgiving, it always comes up a story where this mom from a white family, she's a white lady, she was texting her family members, and she accidentally texted a black guy, said, hey, you know, Thanksgiving at my house at 6 p.m. This Thursday or whatever. See you there. And then the black guy responded like, I don't know you, but can I get a dish? Can I get a plate? It's been going on for like 8 years that he goes to Thanksgiving to their family. I think they were from
This
Georgia,
sounds like the script of The Blind Side.
No, I haven't seen that movie, you know. But yeah, isn't that Blind Side from Georgia too? Or they're in the South somewhere.
Yeah, they're in the South somewhere. Yeah, he's from Mississippi, actually. Mississippi. Ole Miss he went to.
Gabo, thank you so much for the $4 donut.
Yeah, thank you, Gabo Chanusa.
Chanusa.
We got many people talking here. The Marvelous 16 said, collab with the Nomad Capitalist. He has a huge channel, but if you can get me connected with him, I'd love to do it. But he's probably going to say, who the hell is this guy? Nomad Capitalist.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's like over 100,000 or 200,000 views. He talks
got a lot of good information.
Got a lot of good information about all around the world too.
Yeah.
D State. I'm just going to call him D State because I don't know how to pronounce this name. He said, I think he's Colombian. You Colombian, D State? He says, I love to buy and pay for strangers. Things like groceries and pastries.
Oh, yeah, like when you're out in the street. Yeah, like I've done that often where you know, like the family's asking for coins outside the grocery store.
Yeah.
You ask them what they need and you just buy it for them.
Yeah. ESD has a good one here. Are local friend groups cool with including a foreigner into their hangouts activities for the most part? Once again, it depends who you are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a story that happened to me as well. The first days I got here, I was staying in an Airbnb with a couple, and it was the girl's birthday in a couple of days. And she said, hey, I'm going to have my birthday. You should come. So I went along, and it was just like those two and maybe like 10 Colombians, and they're all very welcoming. Yeah. They asked me what I'm doing in the city, gave me tips, gave me contacts. Yeah. So yeah, they are in my experience anyway. They've been really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's the one of the things that you can do, even if you're not in Colombia, in Medellin, you can start seeking these groups out for the things that you love to do. If you like to volunteer, look up volunteer groups on Facebook, on the MDE community. If you like to play chess, there's a chess group. Start connecting with those people, etc., so that when you get down here, you hit the ground running instead of just being alone and lonely, because that's usually one of the reasons why people leave. Being here is because they feel lonely, and it's a valid point, but you got to work at it, right? It's not just going to happen. People aren't just going to fall out from trees here just to be like your friend, right? You actually have to
do some
work.
You got to put yourself in the correct situations to make friends.
Yeah.
If you just sit at home, watch Netflix,
right,
ain't nobody showing up to your door being like, let's hang out. Yeah. Hopefully not anyway. That'd be weird. Warren Kenner has a good question. He says, I'm going to ask you, Andrew. Okay. What do you think about some of the biggest cultural differences between Colombia and maybe the US? He's seen... Yeah, that's a question.
Thank you. I'm confused. No,
biggest cultural differences. Tell me. You're Colombian as well, so you even more.
I had a rough time. My first 4 years here was rough for a few reasons. Number one was that I was broke. I was deported from the United States in 2010. Got here with no money, no friends, and no family. So I had to do all this shit that we're telling you to do right now. I'm telling you for a reason. Because when I got here, I had none of that shit planned, and it was rough. It was rough being alone, not having money, not knowing anybody or having any connections to even just get a job. I had to get a local job at a call center, which was the worst job I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. People telling you...
Yeah, telling you to fuck off in the U.S. because it was an English-speaking call center.
Damn.
So what was the question? Oh, the culture clash. So the culture clashes hit me even harder because... if you've got money, those culture clashes can kind of go away. Like, for example, a big culture clash is driving and public transportation, right? Like in the United States, at least in Southern California, where I'm from, you don't take the bus very often. I could probably count on my hand how many times I took.
Because it's horrible.
Yeah, it's a bad system.
Yeah.
The streets are ginormous. Just to get to one place to another could be like 15 minutes in a car, 20 minutes or an hour in a car. And if there's traffic, it could be 2 hours.
Yeah.
So everyone has a car out there. So you're never on public transportation. You're never surrounded by people, really. So a big culture clash here for me was I didn't have a car. I didn't have much money. So I had to take the public buses when I worked in downtown. And those buses get full to the brim at peak hours. It's a cool experience at the beginning, but once you get used to it, you're like, oh my God, I need to get this fuck out of here.
You're like nose to nose with someone else?
Literally like nuts to butts. Nuts to butts. Everybody's squished.
And everyone's cool with it, or they're kind of squirming like this?
No, everyone's like normal.
Okay.
Like that's
leaning into it.
That's part of that culture clash. Not only is transportation crazy and the way people drive crazy, but on top of that, everybody is like super cool with being very close to each other, no personal space.
Okay.
And when you don't have money, you have to live with that, and then you get used to it. That's what happened to me. I got used to it. I got so used to it that I moved downtown, and I lived there for a year and a half.
Okay. So that's the biggest culture
clash. That was a big culture clash. But like I said, if you come down here and do all this planning like that we're telling you right now to do, those culture clashes will be minimal and affect you in a minimal way, I guess.
Yeah. there's been nothing really that shocking to me here.
Yeah, because you've been to like
I've been to many countries.
Bro.
Yeah. If I'm thinking if I come directly,
like if you've never been
anywhere and just arrived here, that would be one big one for sure. But we have some more questions.
Yes, sir.
Let's lead with
Thank you so much for the $5 dono. Keep it up. Unknown with a good question. I'll let you answer that because you live in Laureles. Unknown asks. He says, I'm moving to Laureles next month. Any safety tips?
Let's group this in with another question we got from Giddy Up. He said, some are saying Medellin is too dangerous now, drugging, etc. Okay, I want to answer this question once and once only, because people are asking me this all the time. People leaving comments saying, don't go to Colombia. How can you be promoting Colombia as a destination? People are coming and dropping like flies and dying immediately off the airport. You'll die. It's not true. Like, come on, man. Like, stop believing everything you read in the news. Or at least ask some more questions. Read the articles. Understand why these things are happening, right? If I told you in California, right? Remember, I'll tell you this, right? You saw an article, Andrew, and the article said 30 people murdered in California in December.
Yeah.
As a tourist, would you be worried?
No, because it's California. It's never said. I mean.
Okay, if I said 100 people murdered, would you say?
Yeah, then I'd be like, oh,
you'd be concerned, all right? Yeah. But if you read that all those 100 people were gang members, would you be worried?
No.
This is the questions we need to be asking, right?
Ask what type of people have been getting killed here. So, yes, Medellin as a whole is unsafe compared to a first world country like the United States, Australia. And it's definitely not a destination where you can be as free with your, what you wear and how you flaunt yourself out here as, you would in those countries. So, yes, I absolutely agree. Medellin can be unsafe.
Yes, and it's definitely unsafe if you do certain things. 100%. You'll be a victim eventually.
Even if you don't do certain things, the likelihood of you getting robbed here is probably higher than that of like living in
Melbourne, Australia,
suburb in Australia.
Yeah.
But obviously, those chances reduce where, depending on where you live, depending on how you carry yourself,
depending on who you hang out with, depending on what you do.
So safety tips about moving to Laureles?
I would say let's talk about just general safety. Is just like one of my mates today. I was supposed to meet up with him to play tennis. I text him. He texted me at 7:30. Are we playing today? I text him at 9 saying yes. Let's play at 10. Then he doesn't respond for like 8 hours. I'm like, holy shit, what happened to this guy? He messages me at like 4 o'clock saying, sorry, my phone got stolen. I said, what happened? Stolen? Did they bring a gun? What happened? I was worried for him. And he said, no, look, it was my mistake. I was standing at the traffic light texting and they came by in a moto and robbed it. And he's Colombian.
That's the most common type of crime that happens here, which is like this petty theft. Like pickpocketing or just
grabbing on the motor quickly.
Snatching.
So number one tip is don't be walking around with your phone on the street.
And you'll see, and this is another really good tip is when you come down here, look at what the locals are doing.
But don't look at my mate, the local who was on the phone, talking on the phone and getting it stolen. Locals will do this as well. I've seen locals walking and texting on the street.
You get comfortable and then you get robbed. And that happens. So a lot of the times you'll also see no locals with phones out. It's common sense to us because we've been here, but to someone that's new, that's not common sense. So hopefully you'll understand that taking your phone out on the street is not recommended, especially if it's like a busy street. So literally, like it's inherent in me now because I have lived in downtown. I've lived in 7 different neighborhoods here. If I'm walking down a street, I typically like to walk down streets where the traffic is oncoming to me because there's nobody that could run up behind me.
Very smart tip.
But that's like something that's like inherent in my personality now. It's like it sucks, and I understand for those of you that don't like living that way and aren't willing to compensate that to live in Medellin, then Medellin is not for you.
No,
because I've had people say, why would I want to go live in a country where I have to worry about those things?
You don't have to. You don't have to.
But maybe they were making it was more of an insinuation up to why are you living in a country where you have to worry about that? For me, because the pros outweigh the cons.
And so I actually had a very good and constructive conversation with someone on my comments. He said, I'm never coming to Medellin why would I want to live in a place where I can't do the things I want? I said, what type of things do you want to do? He said, I want to wear my chains and my Rolex in the street. I said, okay, that's fine. You can do that, but yeah, don't come here. It's not going to end well, but it's fine to want to do those things in your lives, as it is also very fine to want to text a girl on Tinder, send one message and say, hey, I'm coming over. That's a fine. If you want to do that, you can do that. But if you want to stay alive, don't do that in Medellin. Right? Yeah. So it's all about, I guess, figuring out what things are really important to you. If you really need some of those things, in Medellin, you got to think up, is it really worth moving here?
Right. It's tough. But you have to, living in Medellin is like a relationship with a woman.
Okay. Why? How so?
Give and take.
Okay.
You have to give and you'll take, but you also have to give. And sometimes the giving means that you have to give up some stuff.
Yeah.
Like some of your habits and some of the things that make you sometimes in your country if you want to live here until you start assimilating.
Yeah.
Once you're assimilating, you can start incorporating some of your personality into life here. But yeah, don't get it twisted. We're not trying to say that Medellin is this fucking fairy tale place.
No,
and
it can be. It can be if you are a certain type of person.
Yeah.
If you're another type of person who likes to do maybe things like this guy was saying, I like to wear my gold chains, a nice watch to go out, then it's not going to be a fairy tale city for you.
It's not going to be. Yeah. And on top of that, even if it were a safe country, it's still a poor country. So even if you live in the nicest neighborhood in El Tesoro up here or in El Poblado, anywhere you go, you're going to see poverty. There's no way around it because the cleaning lady that's coming into your house is probably living, below what most people would live in the United States or in your country.
We have D-State. $5 dono. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
And a little balloon. Thank you. He said, you guys are cool. I enjoy watching your channels. He's from Hawaii, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I'm retired, but won't mind a down for 3 years or less. My kid needs to finish school first. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
So he's waiting for his kid to finish school, then he's moving down. That's pretty cool.
I'm very excited to get my kid's not even born, but I'm already excited about them going to school here and doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. Zombie Fart says, where I live, you walk around dressed like that.
We just roll you for principal. Where do you live, Zombie Farts? I'll be happy to avoid that place.
But Venus says, here's a tip. Don't drink and hang out with women who may be prostitutes or unsavory in some way. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. Like, for example, I understand if that's what people like to do. And, prostitution is one of the oldest professions in the world ever. And if people want to indulge in that, and in Colombia it's legal, so I can see why people would come and do that here. Mm-hmm. But just know that there's a danger attached in Medellin. In some other countries where it's also legal, it's been, where even the government is
like
involved.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, like places where it's legal and it's controlled and it's safe. But in Medellin, even though it's legal, it's still not controlled. There's not a lot of control over that. So who you pick up off the street can be someone that's from a very poor and dangerous neighborhood that wants to come up quick and might want to drug you to steal all your shit.
We have a few questions that have popped up over there about dating and things like that. I would almost go to the point. You probably agree with me that if you want to come for hookup culture, don't come to Medellin. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
It's not going to end well. You're going to have a lot of trouble doing it, first of all.
Yeah, for quick hookups.
It's difficult, and you're going to put yourself in a lot of danger. Most of the people that have been killed have been looking for a quick hookup, right? So that is dangerous.
But I think they're confusing, or they're basketing, I guess, and capturing hookup with prostitution too, like a quick hookup for money.
Yeah, but I'm talking hookup as in non-prostitution. Right. Like you meet a girl on Tinder and you want to go to a place or invite her over.
Yeah, that usually doesn't happen.
And that doesn't end well. Yeah, that's usually most of the circumstances that are happening to people.
Yeah, exactly.
But in terms of relationships, my best tip would be patient.
Yeah.
Because you can meet someone. Dating app is fine, like maybe Bumble or something like that you can use.
I've used that dating apps for years.
But just talk to them first. Don't try and push it to sex straight away, because usually the ones that are like very keen to do that are the ones that are going to do something to you. Yeah. So if you just wait, get to know a bit about them, maybe organize your first few dates in public places. Because think about it, the people that want to take advantage of you don't have time to do all this shit.
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, exactly. So the question from EST is the safest way to pick up girls. It's just doing activities, doing what you like to do, and surrounding yourself with people that have common interests.
Yeah.
And in like a safe setting, right? Like for example, there's a craft store. Believe it or not, I like my mom. For my whole life, she's a handcraft. She's got her own YouTube channel. She was monetized.
Your mom has a
me.
YouTube?
Yeah. She's had a YouTube channel for like 3 years now.
Oh,
and
wow.
she does handcrafts and stuff on it.
So it's all in the family.
Yeah, and I like that kind of stuff. So I go to the craft store over, where is it? That way, yeah. In Manila, and it's called Bombay. It's like a big one. And they have like workshops there. And I enrolled to go learn how to crochet.
Yeah.
So, but guess what? I'm going to be surrounded by like 100 women in there. When
Absolutely.
They're doing that.
Absolutely.
It'll be closer to 50. But
yeah.
But I didn't enroll just because I want to meet women, because I've got a girlfriend. But I'm saying that
if you wanted to, you could meet them.
Doing things. Yeah. If you want to meet people, and whether it's for romantic interest or just meeting people down here.
Yeah.
Do activities. If you're here for a limited time, if you're here for a week, you're probably not going to meet, have profound, relationships.
I think we need to remove the word hookup as well. I think that's when people get in trouble.
Because
hooking up with someone implies fast movement to get them in their house and bang them. That's not going to end well. Maybe if you start with like, what's the best way to meet a nice woman?
Yeah.
And it's more about meeting and getting to know them, then you have a lot more success.
Right.
And you won't seem as desperate. They won't take advantage of it. And you also seem more attractive.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everywhere I've gone, I've been, to Mexico and different parts of Colombia as well. Meeting women is not a problem. Meeting.
Yeah, but you're
people.
A well-spoken guy. You know how to carry conversations. You're respectful of people. You're not just trying to bang them as soon as you talk to them.
Yeah, people. But that's one. The biggest advice, the best relationship advice that I've ever gotten, and I give this to my friends who ever ask. They ask me how can I pick up women? I'm like, first thing you got to do is work on yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you work on yourself, go to the gym, read books, become interested in something. For example, like I literally play the guitar. I play video games and stream video games. I've got a channel on YouTube and I stream on YouTube. On this channel, I've got 3 different businesses. I've got Airbnb properties. I've got a digital marketing business. I do the Medellin Master Class. We've got a real estate mastermind that we're doing once a month. I play basketball. I go to the gym. Like literally, I could probably list off 20 things that I do that make me interesting. So when I meet
someone, do arts and crafts.
Yeah, I'm getting into arts and crafts. Like what the fuck? So when I meet somebody and I tell them this, they're like, well, first of all, they're like, how do you have the time to do all this?
Yeah.
And second, they're like, that's so cool. Like I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why don't you? Even if you have a 9-to-5 job, you can still do a lot of things.
You have time, so it just depends how much you want it.
Yeah, it depends on how much you want
Often the hardest paths are the most, valuable. But Thinline Media says, these are specific targeted crimes at all types of tourists which are not comparable to other countries. Well, first of all, it's not all types of tourists. The family that comes here and goes to, Parque RV and has a couple of nice dinners and go home are not the targets. So you're completely wrong there, first of all.
It's a specific type of tourist, which is a sex tourist, that are being targeted by gangs that use women to lure them and drug them and rob them and clean their bank accounts.
Facts.
Yeah, that's literally out of the 33 people that
I think it's almost 40 now.
Yeah,
but probably
all the people that have died here, that have been killed. I would say if I were to put a stat on it, 90% of them are that type of that's the prototype, right?
Correct.
Right. So if you fit that bill, then you are at risk in Medellin. That's absolutely true. And throw in there a couple that weren't that prototype. I know that there was a guy from Southern California, an Asian dude, not the recent dude, but somebody else who was a grad from, I think it was like Cal State Fullerton. He had come down here just as a tourist, and he met a girl on Tinder and got drugged and robbed and died. And he met this girl on Tinder, but it wasn't like a prostitute. It wasn't like he was trying to pay her.
Yeah.
And it was just a normal date. He thought it was a normal date, but I would beg to wonder, and I hate to ask this question or I would hate for people to think that I'm trying to put blame on him, but I would wonder, because that girl was keen to come to his apartment, right? Like, and have drinks with him.
No, this was a different. I think he actually met her. They went for
outside,
a drink. They went
back.
and then they went. Then I think the story was she's like something happened, a conversation, and then she invited some friends in the car to pull up, and he got in the car, and then they took him.
Yeah. So
maybe she said, "Come to my place for a party or something." I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's sketchy, man. Like, first time in a country, and this girl likes you so much that she wants to take you back to her house, or to her friend's house in her.
That's why it's just not good.
That's why I would ask, like, would that happen to you normally in Southern California? Has that ever happened to you in your life? Where you go on a date and a girl's like, "Oh, you're so great. Let's go back to my place."
I was talking to my mate the other day, and he's been here 8 years as well. And I say, "Hey, man, you know how many times in Australia a girl has messaged me on Tinder and said, 'Hey, you're so good looking. Me and my friend want to come over to your place.' Zero. You know how many times it will ever happen to me anywhere in the world apart from Medellin? Zero. Yeah. If it's too good to be true,
it's probably
always true.
So the tourists aren't being targeted. It's the specific type of tourist that's being targeted, and unfortunately getting killed out here, which is terrible because, again, like I said before, that type of tourism exists here because the government allows it to exist here. The Colombian people allow it to exist here. And the consequences now are that these people are taking advantage of that type of tourism, the sex tourism, and robbing these people. So imagine if close to 40 have been killed, how many have been drugged this year? That's a crazy amount.
A lot, yeah.
I would venture to say like
hundreds,
right?
Yeah.
Hundreds of people probably have been. And when I say people, I mean sex tourists.
Yeah.
And throwing in the non-sex tourists there as well, but just because they didn't know any better. They don't watch channels like ours or DC Born Rob or anybody like that where they were warned.
But I was talking about this before. I think that there's two types of people. One that genuinely doesn't know. Yeah. I don't know how you cannot know because there's so many videos about it. Basically every video on YouTube is about this.
Yeah, like if you do any
search, you'll know that this is a problem.
You'll have that at the back of your mind.
But there's the other type of person, and we have a story about someone like this. There's someone that we actually did a consult with. He paid us good money to meet up with him. We met up with him. We had lunch with him. He said, "Hey, I want to date some girls. What do I do? What do I don't do?" And you told him. Yeah. Tell me what you told him.
I told him, stay off the dating apps. Meet people naturally. Don't do any of the prostitution, pay-for-play stuff. You're a good-looking guy. You speak both languages really well. And you can just go about doing activities. You like to go hiking, get in the hiking group right now and go do that. You like to box, go to the boxing gym, get a trainer, do stuff like you would do normally in the United States. You're going to meet people.
Yeah, so the first thing, the main point is that you told him, stay off dating apps and don't invite women to your place because of drugged and robbed, many people dying.
And this was like beginning of the year.
You told him specifically with no ambiguity.
Yep.
What happened to him 3 days later?
He got drugged and robbed. We're not laughing at you if you're watching this.
And he got robbed of how much?
I forget, man. What was
it? You said it was 50 grand in crypto. 50 grand cryptos.
In crypto. So this was a guy that did a consultation with us, and I met him personally.
Yeah.
And told him not to do this shit. And then, this was like a month ago, about a month ago, he writes me, "Hey, I bought my apartment in Envigado, and I got drugged and robbed." I'm like, "Oh my God, bro." He's like, "Yep, there was every story that's online. That was me."
Yeah.
Like, this girl, met her on Tinder. She was keen to come back to my apartment. I'm like, did it again, chap.
So that's the point I'm trying to make. One type of person genuinely somehow doesn't know about this at all. And the other type of person, they know well and good that this shit is happening, but they see a pretty girl and they're like, let's go. They don't care.
It's not going to happen to me.
No.
But that's like the famous last words. T-Max says, "I have some attractive employees." Congratulations. So do I. Or so do we. Wait. Well, I didn't read the rest of that. "And friends, but I refuse to introduce them to my friends from the U.S. I don't want them messing up my friendship network in Colombia."
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair. Warren Kenner says, a lot of the guys going abroad for love are rebelling against the 6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figure...
6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figure requirements that lots of women say they have in the US. They're trying to get away from their superficiality.
Yeah, I get that. I don't agree with that, meaning that I don't agree with the guys that are just writing off women from the U.S. completely. I mean, the U.S. has 500 million people in it, and let's say 50% of them are women. That's 250 million people, women. And let's say the dating pool. Let's say it's 100 million people. You're generalizing 100 million women for what you see on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and maybe even in person from some of the women out there. I can't believe like that. I mean, I don't live in the United States, haven't been there for 13 years, but I dated my whole life there. And most of them were all just American girls.
I was there just before I came here.
Yeah,
Fine.
and I never had a problem like with this so-called problem. I think the problem is usually within. It's like my mom used to say that when you're pointing your finger at someone, you have 3 pointing right back at you. It's like usually you're the problem. And and when I see a lot of these channels, like the Passport Bro type channels, a lot of them are good and they have good information and they're actually traveling for great reasons and stuff like that. But some of them, it's like, what do you have to offer?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, you don't have the 6 figures. You're not 6'6", and you're not a baller, and you're whatever. But what do you have? Like, what are your interests? What can you offer someone, not even in a romantic relationship? Why would I even want to be your friend?
It's exactly what you said before. It's like you have all these things, like 20 interests that you do that make you an interesting person, right?
Yeah. And I do them because I genuinely like to do them.
Well, some people have 0 interest, just sitting at home staring at the wall.
Yeah. And then expect to go get laid.
then expect like Mila Kunis to be falling at their feet.
Oh my God.
Like, why would that happen? Like, some people just lack logic and realistic goals, I guess.
I think the best thing is to work on yourself. And that's what I do. I constantly do stuff to work on myself, to learn something new, to have fun in life.
Yeah, but we don't even do it for girl. We just do it because it's fun. I like to do all this stuff.
I love to do this stuff. Like, I meet so many people just by doing the things that I do that I want to learn. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to go do crochet next Friday, and it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a bunch of grandmas, but I genuinely want to learn.
Yeah, why not?
It's like a skill that my mom has.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
my girlfriend does whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. One of the best, I met a beautiful girl like 4 years ago. Doing painting classes here, like watercolor.
Oh, I got to learn that.
There's a place here in Manila.
Yeah,
that's like a studio.
Okay,
and they do classes.
They teach you
watercolor, acrylic.
Oh,
so I learned it. Yeah. Well, I suck, but I didn't keep up with it. I was like, I bought the easel, I bought the things, and I got all the paints. I still got them there.
Yeah,
but I never kept up with it. And I'm a pretty good artist when it comes to drawing by hand.
Not when it comes to writing in English.
No. I have a broken hand.
Oh, that's true. That'll do it.
But I met this beautiful girl just while we were painting. And there's another. So I've done a few of these, and they're super fun. There's a few restaurants and also workshops out here that do painting and wine nights.
Oh.
So like you get cups of wine or glasses of wine while you paint, and you learn how to paint a certain thing. And it's usually like a still life.
Does your painting skill get better or worse when you get smashed?
I think there's a bell curve.
It's like speaking Spanish. Did you guys know that someone who runs Gringo Tuesdays, which is actually the language exchange that happens here in Provenza every Tuesday night, he told me there's a fact. I have not checked this fact, but he told me that the perfect point is if you have 2 beers, your level of speaking a second language improves substantially, but only 2. If you have 3, goes down.
I could see that happening because I speak Spanish fluently, but if I have more than 3 drinks, it starts getting worse.
Yeah, but if you get 2, it gives you a bit more confidence, so you're not so inside your shell.
Yeah. But if I have 10 shots of tequila, I'll be speaking Chinese.
You'll be speaking in tongues.
That sounds hype. I'm gonna do painting and wine. Yeah, they have painting and wine. There's another one by the most beautiful girl. Oh my God, I'm married. I'm married. I've got a girlfriend. I've got a girlfriend. We're gonna have a kid. But there's this beautiful woman that owns a bakery here. It's gorgeous, and they do. What do they call it? They call it like shake and bake or something like.
Okay.
What's
shaking and what's baking?
They
dancing.
It's a workshop because it's a bakery.
Yeah.
On how to bake little cakes.
Okay.
And she has like every person that goes there. It's like the meet and cake or meet and bake. That's what they call it. Something like that.
Like networking and baking.
No, it's for like people that want to learn how to bake.
Okay.
And she'll teach them how to do a certain type of baking that day in the workshop. and it's usually 100% women.
Okay.
And they're all paisas.
Yeah. Because no guy
foreigners.
usually wants to do baking or
but
crocheting.
I don't want to do
You've got the
baking
inside. I mean, you do this thing just because.
look it up. It's called Biela Bakery. Biela Bakery.
Okay.
And Maria, just look it up.
You got some good.
You're gonna love it.
You got some good tips right now. I want to do the painting as well. That sounds good.
I want to. The painting's always fun. Even if you're not a painter, it's always fun. And if you go with friends, it's even funnier because you're laughing at each other's skill level.
Yeah.
And then you'll be surprised. Like I used to do this when we had an office and so all of these things I learned about because I had an office and I had employees here before the pandemic, and we would do yoga, like yoga month, like every Friday. During lunch hour, like the company would pay for yoga day. We'd go to the yoga studio. We'd go to the painting studio and do that.
Yeah.
We did a few things like that, which was super fun. We learned how to do sushi in the office. The guy came into the office.
These
with
people got application forms to work for. That's pretty good.
It was awesome. It was super fun. But yeah, I learned about all these activities.
EST, do I need to pre-game the meat and bake? Just rolling up half cut. Yo, what we baking today, bitches?
And does pregame mean that you're like baking something at home, or
isn't pregame is drinking, right? Yeah.
Like I got to get my baking skills up. Got to impress some people.
Should we get back on track?
What were we talking about?
Can you bring up the list of our steps to moving to Medellin?
We went through basically our whole list.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I moved our
camera. Up here. We have. So this was meeting people. Actually, we were actually stayed on track because we talked about dating. We talked about painting and baking. That's all about meeting people.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is about meeting people and doing stuff out here. And it's something that you could start doing without having to be here. If you're in the United States, you could start making connections with people down here, real people that are not on Tinder or Bumble.
Yeah.
Because, when you're on those apps, you can meet some real people, but unless if you're like extremely good looking, you're not going to be getting a whole bunch of requests or likes or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have a general interest with people, they'll start talking to you about that, even if you're not here in those WhatsApp groups and Facebook, etc. Instagram is a great resource as well. Wait, we have a question. Is 678 Korean barbecue worth visiting? I've never been, but I heard it's really good. Again, we're vegan. What are we? We're gonna go grill a
I've never
squash.
had. I've never had Korean barbecue in my life, but I've heard it's delicious.
Yeah. A couple of drinks also helps in dancing. That's true.
Yes, it does.
That's true. Yeah.
Not that I've done it.
That's true.
Okay.
You haven't done.
I don't drink.
Yeah, but when did you stop drinking?
Oh no, but dancing. I was thinking it means like salsa, where it's like the steps.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but just shaking uncontrollably in a nightclub. I've done that.
Is that you dancing?
That's my dancing. Yeah, that was me going at 8.
Please don't drink and dance.
The years of 18 to 23 was all about drinking and shaking uncontrollably.
Yeah. Drinking helps for a lot of things, but when you overdo it, then it doesn't help.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like many things in life.
Yeah.
What do we do after connecting with people, Andrew, in terms of moving to Medellin? For anyone that's jumping in a bit later and they're wondering what the hell is going on with this video, because we're talking about hella random shit right now. So this video is all about the steps you need to put in place to move to Medellin, right?
Yeah.
And number one, have your budget ready.
Yeah.
Figure out, do I need some savings when I go down there? What's my monthly situation? How much do I need per month? Okay.
Exactly.
And the next one was, which neighborhood am I going to live in?
Yeah.
All the neighborhoods here are very different vibe, different people, different interests. So figure out where you want to stay and then come here, right?
Yeah.
The next one is start looking for apartments.
Right.
Yeah, stay in Airbnb when you first come here. That's the safest and most trustworthy way.
Right.
After that, you can look into more the local ways of getting an apartment at 30-50% much cheaper. Right. After that, but this is actually can be at the start, learn some Spanish. Your experience is going to be 1,000 times better if you can actually communicate with the locals. So learn some Spanish. Start now, apps, tutors, online, Zoom, whatever it takes. Just learn a little bit to get by, and you'll improve when you get here because you'll be talking to people all the time. Then next, once you've stayed here for the 180 days maximum in a year. Hopefully organize this maybe a little bit before you're getting kicked out, but you want to stay longer. You've fallen in love with the city, with the country. You want to stay longer, you need to organize your visa. There's a list of visa options from everything from a year, if you just want to test it out for another year, or you can do some the migrant visas, which allow you to accumulate towards residency if you really want to live here long term. And then finally, what you want to do is connecting with people, either that's social, professional. There's many groups here that you can join. You can do that through WhatsApp and Facebook groups before you even come here. And that's ultimately what's really going to make your experience that much better by understanding the culture, meeting the locals, making friends here, because, home is where the people that you connect with are, right?
Yeah, and those are basically our top tips for moving to Colombia in Medellin in 2024. And you can get started now. You don't have to be here to do all this stuff. You could do all of this stuff from where you are. You don't have to be in the country to start getting organized. If your dream is to come down and live here long term, that's where it's got to start. You got to start by planning it and then executing and really investing. Right now would be your time, and or investing in a course like ours, like the Medellin Master Class. I don't know. There's a couple other courses. Just investing in yourself is a great way to get you pushed, right? To get you moving, like fire under that butt, right? Like if
there's a study somewhere that's like, usually if you pay for something, you're like 10 times more likely to actually follow through because you've invested some cost.
Sense, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I pay for something, I'm going to use it and I'm going to try to do it, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Yeah, so that was the topic for today, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button and the subscribe button.
Yeah, like and subscribe. We also have an announcement.
We have an announcement.
It's a bit of a secretive announcement.
Yeah, it's so secret that I forgot
he
what it was.
He doesn't even know what it is.
It's so secret, I don't even know.
So we have a special for our Medellin Master Class this month, but it's a secret special because we actually want to only offer it to people that we think are going to be a great part of our community. So if you don't know about our community, maybe we haven't advertised it that well, but you take the master class and then you interview with us. If we get along with you and think you're going to be a good fit for the community, we invite you to our WhatsApp group. There, we do Zoom calls every single month. For some people who might not be in the country, you talk to all the other 15 plus members, all entrepreneurs, professionals, business owners, investors. Right. You talk to all of us every month, plus we meet up twice a month.
Right.
So what we want to do is interview you. You can book a call with us, free call.
The link is in the description below.
15 minutes, we talk to you and say, hey, this guy or girl going to be a good fit with us? And if so, then we give you our special discount.
Yeah, so it's kind of a secret discount because, again, we don't want to just include anybody that pays to get into the masterclass. Yeah. We want to interview everybody. And I know it might sound kind of backwards. Like a lot of people would be like, well, why don't you just want the most amount of people that are going to pay $1,500 or $5,000 to be in the elite program, et cetera?
Yeah.
For us, it doesn't work that way. We would rather make good money, but also build a community that's going to make us even more money in the future. Meaning that, for example, everybody that's in the masterclass right now, we've learned something from them. Even though they joined to learn from us on how to move to Medellin and they've made that jump and they're living here now, we've learned just as much from them because one of them does digital marketing through paid ads. He's the person that's been
He's taught us everything about
Big help. Shout out.
So one of them does email sequences.
Email marketing.
Another one does investing.
Another guy has bought 1,200 units in the United States of property. And
we have T-Mac in the chat. He's a fucking rocket scientist.
Literally a rocket scientist. And part of the Black
Billionaires Club or something. Black Bitcoin Billionaires.
Yeah,
that's something like
that. We knowing those type of people and having those people in the community are worth more than any amount of money that you can actually make, from the course that they purchase. So for us, it's super important to actually meet the people that are in the masterclass. We want to nurture this community so that we can all grow together. Yeah, and
because it's a long-term play as well. Because we're in maybe a year or 2 years, we want to have these huge events, 100 people, and all high-level people.
Yeah. Before we go, we'll do a real quick fire question round.
Yeah, question run.
We've got, is Perro Negro worth the hype? It's pretty crowded, dingy, and it's a basement, but yeah, it's fun. But again, it's more fun with friends than going there alone. You'll probably be bored if you go there by yourself. Go with friends. Kev asks, is Dance Free still around on Calle 10? Yes, it is. And they also do a language exchange. I believe it's on Wednesday. They do language exchange, dance classes, and then dance party on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights. I forget which night it is, but it's super fun. I've been. It's awesome. East says, great live stream. Thank you, East.
Thanks, EST. Unknown says, how long can I stay before I have to pay taxes? 183 days every year, not calendar year. 183 days every 365 days.
Yeah. How long can I stay before I have to pay taxes?
Are you not listening?
No, because he said something else. Okay. I still have an official job, so taxes are a big no. And then Thin Line Media said, you don't have to pay taxes if you pay them in another country, but you might need to report them. Yeah, if you overstay the 182 days, you have to report. But again, working with a tax professional is the best thing that you can do to figure out how you can avoid double taxation, which shouldn't be happening.
EST said, how big is the masterclass community? I think last time I checked, it's 17 people now.
17 people.
17, and in 2 months?
2 months. 2 months, it's grown to 17 people. Our goal is to get 100 people for 2024.
Yeah. So we also might be more than that because we have some other people who've bought our lower course, like the Essentials introductory course. Yeah. That one doesn't get you masterclass access.
Yeah.
So 17, but a few more people.
17 people, you guys are hilarious together. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Glenn. You're awesome.
Thanks, Glenn.
You're awesome. Free group Zoom call at some point. Ooh, a free Zoom call. That could be interesting.
How do we do that? We have to send emails to everybody? Or what?
Yeah, like anybody that wants to join a free Medellin Master Class Zoom call for an hour where we basically go over questions and answers live with people. And we could stream that as well so that people on the stream that couldn't make the Zoom call could still get their questions answered, or if they have the same questions, would get those answered.
How's that different to what we're doing now?
Because we would be taking calls. We'd be on a live call with, let's say, 20 other people.
Oh, we can see their faces and stuff.
They could see us, and we could see them, and they would have questions for us.
That's interesting.
We would be answering
we could try that.
I think that would be fun. I'd have to figure out how to...
Yeah, I'll leave that up to you.
Well, barely can get this stream up today.
That's what I said. Leave it up to you.
Eric, thank you for the $2.99 on AK's channel.
Yeah, thanks, Eric, with the teddy bear. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Every little thing helps.
Julian Hurtado, how much is the masterclass? We have 3 different levels.
Yes,
we have 4 different
we have
levels.
Four different levels. Yeah, so we have the masterclass, which is the essentials, which is the unadvertised, because we just made this in response to some people saying it's too expensive. We still wanted to help you, but we have a kind of a cut down offer, which just teaches you the essentials about learning Spanish, getting a place to rent at a cheap price, what to look out for, where to go, what to do, which is $500.
Yeah.
We have the masterclass, flagship masterclass, the main one,
the classic,
which is $1,500, and that's basically teaches you everything over 21 modules.
Yeah.
Plus, you join our masterclass community, which is, in my mind, I've earned already more than $1,500 from just the information I got from everybody else.
And on top of that, you also get all of our contacts. So each module in the masterclass has, or most of the modules, or the important modules where you need contacts, like a real estate attorney, a tax attorney, an accountant, a personal assistant, a cleaning lady, a cook, a driver. We've got a slew of things that we talk about, or modules. And in those modules attached, we have the spreadsheets with all of our contacts, all of our vetted professionals that work here, like real estate agents. I think we're up to like 20 real estate agents on there, most that speak English as well, that are fluent.
So if you want to rent a place, you can just go on there. We have
both
the best
rental agents and
but for many people watching that we've talked about that start renting a place can be difficult.
Yeah.
You can go on and immediately have a list of people you can contact, speak English, and you say, I want to rent a place, and then they help you out, right?
Yeah.
So that one, we have that one.
Classic.
That's a classic. Then we have the elite for people like Raj, who we just completed and got him an apartment in 2 weeks. These are people who, rather than just learn and do it themselves, they just, you guys do it. I just want to come and enjoy Medellin. Sort everything out for me.
He still had to do some work, but like signing papers, looking at properties. So there's still stuff that he does. But the hard stuff, like the heavy lifting, we do all the heavy lifting.
For example, he said, I want this. And then we gave him a spreadsheet of like 20 different options over 4 different agents and said, what do you think?
Yeah.
So that stuff takes time. For people who have more money than time, then do that one.
Exactly. Yeah. EST says, then you have everyone in your email newsletter too, would probably grow a lot. Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's good.
I would definitely show up. Yeah. So it is a good idea. I think it is a good idea. Eric says, miss that Colombia podcast with episodes with Lita.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have Lita on my channel in like a couple weeks.
Who's Lita?
Lita, she's a Venezuelan designer. She does clothing. She's got her own brand. And she's super funny.
What's she going to be talking about?
About establishing a business in Medellin and her brand and living as a foreigner, but a different type of foreigner, which is a Venezuelan.
Yeah.
Basically, they are kind of like refugees or
definitely
from their country and living here full time. And starting her company. So I think it's going to be interesting.
It's 8:52 right now.
Is.
Let's go to 9. So guys, unleash your questions upon us.
Just a couple more minutes.
Because you have 8 more minutes for this whole year to get your questions answered. Until then, you got to wait till next year.
Well, not for my people on my channel. Just wait till next week.
Yeah. For me, I'm going on Monday. I'm in Bolivia. I'm going to be somewhere in the salt flats with no phone, no internet, nothing, just hanging out with flamingos. Really, I'm going to go see flamingos and some lakes.
I'll be doing that eventually. But yeah, right now I can't. I can't leave this office. I got a baby on the way. My baby need new shoes. I gotta get more passive income. Juliano Hurtado, I'm sure you guys give ideas
he says, I'm sure you guys give ideas of remote jobs or create a community, help figure it out remote jobs. Comes with the masterclass.
No, we don't. We don't have a module on. So everybody that buys the masterclass or purchases and becomes a student are people that have been to Medellin before. They've got their money situated where they can work remote, or they can work half the year there and then live half the year here and do something else. So they've got all that figured out. But that being said, AK has a bunch of videos on his channel.
Yeah, I have a lot of videos
where he goes over remote job opportunities and ideas. Yeah. And on top of that, maybe I'll just form another channel where I'll, how to find a job online and what you can do.
Yeah.
And really, the best tip that I can give for anybody is basically go look at what is out there, what kind of platforms are out there for remote work. For example, like Upwork, where you could be a freelancer. And if you've never been a freelancer, you've been an employee your whole life, I know that could be a tough transition. Start learning on how to become a freelancer. And a lot of the time, it involves you doing free shit for people.
We all did it. I did it for free.
Yeah, like doing free stuff just to get your foot in the door or at a very discounted rate.
But doing free stuff is not so painful here because it's so cheap to live, right?
Yeah.
The rent, when I was doing free camera work and video work just to craft my skill and get better and have some portfolio work, which in turn I used to sell for thousands of dollars, right? I was living in a place here for just $500 in a room. I didn't even have my own place.
Yeah.
So I just cut costs and just boom, 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 boom. Studied everything about YouTube, video production, blah, blah, blah. But you have to do it.
Yeah. And if you're in the United States and you have a regular 9-to-5 job, it might mean that you have to do it on the side after work.
Yeah.
Doing all this stuff.
One thing I'll say to Julian, I just released a video, I think it's maybe just a week ago. The video is titled, you'll find it on my channel. It's called How to Get a Remote Job and Move to Colombia.
Nice.
It's 18 minutes and it gives you everything you need to know. Watch that, you'll be happy, okay?
Yep.
But then you have to do work, okay? It's not just you watch the video and money's going to appear in your bank account. I wish that's how it worked.
Hey,
but no.
Eric, with another $499. Don't know.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. You legend. I'm going to get to Eric's question in 1 second.
Sure.
Beast LFC said, hola. No, actually, sorry. Thinline Media said, so if I only want to rent a place, I need to pay $1,500. No, rent like a local module is included in the $497 Masterclass Essentials, it's called.
Yeah.
Next question. Beast LFC. Hola, for your masterclass, do you guys have a business group in Medellin so everyone can connect, network, and help each other? Yeah, I'll let you answer that.
Could you repeat it?
He said, do we have a business networking group which comes as part of our masterclass?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
Yeah, basically, the masterclass is a business networking group. So our WhatsApp group is made up of all the students that are in the masterclass, from the Masterclass Classic and above. So, and all of those people are either entrepreneurs, doctors. We've got a couple doctors.
Rocket scientist.
A rocket scientist now with T-Mac, who's amazing.
The guy who runs a seven or 8 figure Facebook ads agency.
A CEO coach.
Yes.
He coaches CEOs.
In the US, he
in
coaches.
The US. Yeah. What else we got in there? Oh, Raj, the professional
we forgot
investor.
about him, who has invested in 1,300 apartments.
Yeah, something like
has
that.
bought and sold and currently owns 2 apartment buildings.
Yeah.
In Hawaii.
Yeah. So all of that is business networking. And then we do in-person meetups. For example, one of our monthly meetups is a real estate mastermind here, where you meet other people that own property out here. We have a guest speaker, and we ask them questions, and we record that too, and we make a video out of it.
I just released the first episode on my channel 2 days ago, I think.
Rick. Yeah, the interview with Rick. That was at our real estate mastermind, where it's basically networking, everybody talking about real estate and their life here in Medellin. So yes, to answer your question, there is.
Basically,
that is included.
if you join this group, somewhere down the line, you will make more money.
Somewhere along, yeah, you'll learn
just by
something
noting
to make
these
more money.
contacts, right?
Yeah, it's what you are the average of all your five friends.
People.
Yeah,
correct.
Beast LFC, hola for your masterclass. Do you guys have a? Oh, sorry, just
there's an echo. Yeah, I thought you echo-proofed this room, bro.
Mollywood says, "I'm going to Cartagena for the first time in 3 weeks. Let's go." That sounds like a really Cartagena can be really fun. I love visiting and vacationing in Cartagena, especially for events like watching their soccer team play or going for concerts out there are super fun as well. Going to the island doing island hopping out there is super fun.
Eric, we were going to read his question.
Sorry.
Eric with the $5 donation. Thank you, my man. Very generous.
Yeah.
He said your recommendations for best hotels in Manila, El Poblado, 3 to 4 stars, please.
3 to 4 stars. I would say Nomada.
Oh, that's next to Ihamia.
Yeah, that's right. Above. Ihamia is in Nomada. It's like the word nomad, but in Spanish, Nomada. That's probably, and then there's another one called Hotel Manila. Hotel Manila is really nice too. That's like a 4-star, 3-star, 4-star.
How much do these places cost?
I don't know what the room rates there are, but I mean it's pretty easy to find. And then also if you want something that's more like a hostel vibe, where they have like a rooftop and like a rooftop bar and like events happening and stuff, I highly recommend El Viajero. El Viajero Hostel.
Masaya too.
Masaya, but that's in Astorga.
It's close enough.
El Viajero, Viajero is in Manila, and also Los Patios.
Ah, that's a nice one. They got a Los Patios in Laureles now. You know that? Yeah. I saw the other. What the hell is this?
But it's like it's like co-living or something.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
It's like actual suites.
So more long-term people.
Yeah, it's more.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So guys.
Yeah, good fun today. Great video.
Appreciate you guys being here. For all of you guys that stuck it to the end, and if you're watching the replay, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
And share it with your friends and family.
And thanks for all the support this year on both our channels.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
Thanks for coming, commenting, liking, viewing, and just sharing some time with us.
Yeah.
And listening to us talk.
Yeah. When I started the YouTube channel myself like 3 months ago, I kind of was apprehensive just because I know how many people troll. But I've been so surprised at the opposite has happened, right? Where we have so many supportive people that love the channel, people that give us great tips as well, because criticism can be constructive. So I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys, if I don't see you guys here in Medellin this year, I hope you guys have a great year. Yeah. Or a great end of your
end of the year.
And hopefully
Merry Christmas
see you
in 3 days, right?
Yes. Now let's go watch some boxing. Guys.
Oh,
the boxing.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. See you